A beautiful day here in Phoenix, Arizona. The aerial shots you'll be seeing today of Phoenix International Raceway being brought to you by our friends at Dura-Lube. And boy, you couldn't put another person into this racing facility here today. Well, competitive qualifying to say the very least. Let's check out today's Sears Die Hard starting grid, brought to you by the Die Hard battery, now with more power when you need it. Well, the only driver over 131 miles an hour, he's our push pole sitter, Bobby Labonte. And how about Mike Skinner for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series? Had the pole until Labonte qualified, third from the end in the qualifying order. Row number 2, Ricky Rudd, the winner here a year ago, who started 29th that day. And Kenny Schrader hasn't been to victory lane in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series since 1991. Dale Jarrett, he's earned the most points of any driver since midseason, the most of anybody in the last 5 races. And Mark Martin, a non-winner, but his 13th straight top 10 start. Kenny Wallace equaling his best start of the year. He had the same starting spot inside of row 4 at Bristol, while Rick Mast is looking for his first start in his 215th, or first win, I should say, in his 215th career start. Rusty Wallace, there's a mystery, an outstanding flat track racer. 9th time at Phoenix, still looking for the first win. He's joined by Jeremy Mayfield in row number 5. 4 Phoenix top 5s for Bill Elliott. Hasn't won since the 94 Southern 500. Ernie Irvin led the most laps last year, 111 here at this track. Todd Bodine, second race in the number 33, replacing Robert Presley. John Andretti outside of row 7. Sterling Marlin and Joe Nemechek, they'll be sharing row number 8 in their respective Chevrolets. 9th row, Bobby Hamilton. His first Winston Cup start here was back in 1989. Of course, Darrell Waltrip, he has 6 Phoenix top 10s. Jeff Gordon, trying to get himself back into the hunt for the championship. He is right here, and of course, the first time he hasn't qualified in the top 10 in the last 12 races. He shares the row with Wally Dallenbach. 9th in points scored since midseason is Jeff Burton in the 99 Exide machine. And Kyle Petty, who this weekend announced his plans for next year. He'll be a man with Hot Wheels to talk about starting in 1997. Johnny Benson, he has the Pennzoil Pontiac alongside Dale Earnhardt, who is making his 513th consecutive start here today, tying the old record in that division held by Richard Petty. Ted Musgrave, Morgan Shepherd, they're a couple of veterans sharing row number 13. Row number 14, last year's runner-up, and the last time he had a top 5 finish. Derek Cope starting inside of row number 14. Jeff Bodine in the QVC Ford Thunderbird there as well. Row number 15, Dick Trickle, and of course Terry Labonte, the 94 winner of this event, the man that everybody's been talking about since 20 minutes after 10 on Friday when he injured that left wrist. Row number 16, Michael Waltrip and Robbie Gordon from Villa Park, California, the first Union Chevy, 3rd start of 1996. Late Speed and Jack Sprague, who went to victory lane for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series here this weekend. He'll be in row number 17. Row number 18, Brett Bodine. His only win came 200 races ago, but he's smiling. He's got a 3-year sponsorship. He'll be telling us more. We'll talk about it later today. Robert Presley is alongside him. Jimmy Spencer and Dave Marcus, they're in row number 19. The 20th row, Ricky Craven and Hutch Strickland, they'll share that position. Then you get to your provisional starters, the 1995 winner. He is a victor at Rockingham, Ward Burton in the MBNA Pontiac, and Bobby Hillin Jr. from Midland, Texas. And representing the NASCAR Winston West Series, this being a combination event, Lance Hooper and Jeff Crow from Visalia, California. There you have the starting grid for today's race, 312 laps. Let's take a look at all the numbers pertaining to today's race. The AutoZone Race Analysis brought to you by the more than 1,450 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts, as the field now is on the roll with the first of their 3 warm-up laps here at Phoenix International Raceway. And Buddy Baker, let's talk about this track just a bit. We touched on it moments ago in the open. The track sits where turns 1 and 2 are banked only 11 degrees. You can see right there, really, it's totally flat. They say there's 11 degrees of banking, and there is out near the wall. Turns 3 and 4, only 9 degrees of banking, but it's basically a flat track, and that favors certain guys.
It certainly does, and I think anybody that watched Dale Jarrett up in the Brickyard race this year, the flatter tracks he seems to really do well on, as well as Ricky Rudd. A lot of these guys are really talented. Most of the road course drivers do well at Phoenix.
Let's talk, though, about another element of a flat racetrack, and that is you don't have the banking to try and help save you to some degree in the instance of a spin. This is not a self-cleaning racetrack, if you will.
Okay, one thing you do, going into the corner, you always really attack the corner. You go in so hard, if the back of the car breaks out, you don't have the bank to slow the slide down. So immediately you go straight into the outside wall, bounce back into traffic.
Meanwhile, down on the pit lane, everybody waiting and watching to see exactly how Terry Labonte can handle the 312 laps today, all the vibration inherent with running a NASCAR Winston Cup stock car. Randy Pemberton has been down in that pit area ever since the team rolled the car out earlier this morning. Are they confident? What are the medical guys saying, Randy?
Well, the medical guys they're talking, Eli, about the fact that he's feeling fine. He's gotten a couple of shots that we told you early on here at the head of the show. But this is Don Andrews. He is the director of the Human Performance Center. He's been working on Terry ever since he got his injury here on Friday. You have a tinge unit on him, and that is electrical impulses. Tell me about the process of what you've gone through with Terry.
Well, right, Randy, this is a disabilitating injury for a driver. So what we're trying to do is manage the pain. That's going to be his biggest problem, the vibration in the race car. So we're using a splint, we're using a silicone material to dampen the vibration. Then we're using a Sport TX. So he'll be able to raise that or lower that in the race car as he sees necessary as the race goes on.
Okay, that's the story from down here. Terry Labonte, one tough customer. We'll have to see how he does here this afternoon. Eli.
All right, now as always, we'll be riding around this 1 mile Phoenix International Raceway today. We've got onboard cameras with the Valvoline team. Mark Martin, he has recorded 13 straight top 10 finishes, but still no wins this year. Morgan Shepherd will be carrying cameras aboard the Remington Arms machine as he winds down his association with Butch Mock Motorsports. Dale Jarrett starts 5th, very much in the hunt for the NASCAR Winston Cup title. Will ride with the Quality Care Ford Credit Ford Thunderbird, and John Andretti will also be giving us a lift around this 1 mile Phoenix International Raceway. We're about 15 to 18 miles outside of downtown Phoenix, a magnificent setting. Grandstands rising all around, even the hillside that technically you see right there overlooking turns 3 and 4. Not your formal seating area when mountains first arose out here, but it's become one of the favorite spots from which to watch a race. David Hall, Senior Vice President, Cable Networks, Gaylord Entertainment. In plain English, that means he's our boss at TNN. And he drops the green flag, and we are underway in the Dura-Lube 500. And the quiet of the Arizona desert quickly erased by the rumble of those racing machines. 1 lap of 312. Dick Berggren now in the books.
And with just 1 lap down, Eli, we've already broken records here at Phoenix. The track record was smashed in qualifying. More prize money, almost $1.3 million today on the line than ever here. And the biggest crowd ever to see a stock car race in Arizona. Over 105,000 people here at Phoenix today.
It also is the biggest crowd to see a sporting event in the state of Arizona, bypassing the crowds at Sun Devil Stadium to see Arizona State football, to see Super Bowls and the like. They have packed in here at Phoenix International.
I just wanted to tell our viewers, you're not seeing things on the back straightaway. You have a dog leg going down through there that you get position on the cars that you're racing with. If you can get on the inside, take that area away from them going into turn 3, you can make passes pretty easy.
Great battle for second. Mike Skinner in the 31 machine, holding off Ricky Rudd, who is going to try that outside groove if he can. Skinner, the defending NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series ace, who moves up to NASCAR Winston Cup racing next year in the second car, sponsored by Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouses for Richard Childress Racing. And boy, he's done himself proud today.
He sure has. He has never
Whoa,
run.
trouble in turn 4.
Sterling Marlin has problems. Here comes Brett Bodine as he gets on the binders, and he slides into the Kodak Film Chevrolet, and we are under caution for the first time. Sterling was running in 16th when the problems cropped up. The first lap of caution will be the 5th lap, and we are under yellow. And poor old Brett, but I'll tell you, isn't he excited about next year, guys? He is all smiles in the garage.
He is, not only for next year, 3 years. He's got a contract. He cannot tell us who the sponsor is, but he has a sponsor for 3 years.
Let's take a look again at what happened. Let's try and pick it up as they go towards the bridge. Sterling's on the
You see Sterling on the inside there. You see a little bit of smoke there. There was a little contact with the car on the outside there.
Jeff Gordon just got through. Earnhardt gets through. It looked as though the 98 and Sterling got together. We'll have to see exactly if we can pinpoint what happened with Jeremy.
Well, the 98 is John Andretti.
John Andretti, rather.
And, you can see they made contact there, and down on the bottom part of that racetrack, when you touch it, a car on the outside, the back end breaks loose, and that's what happened to Sterling. Now this is just chain reaction behind this.
So we are under caution. First time this afternoon here at Phoenix International as the crew goes to work on the Kodak Film Chevy. We're just 5 laps complete in the Dura-Lube 500. We are getting set to go back to green. The Dura-Lube 500 at the Phoenix International Raceway. Randy Pemberton has an update on Sterling Marlin's car.
Well, basically all they could do, Eli, was bring him down into the pits. He has come in 2 times under this caution. They've pulled away the sheet metal to the best of their abilities. They've changed 4 tires, and without losing a lap, they're going to go ahead and send Sterling back out there under green flag conditions. So going to be a long day for Sterling Marlin today.
The only team to have lost a lap was Jeff Crow, the Winston West campaigner, who did make a series of stops and now sees himself a lap down on the restart, which will be here at lap number 8. Bobby Labonte leads Skinner and Rudd to the line as they head off now into turn number 1. Ricky Rudd has tried repeatedly to make the outside pass on Skinner, but it hasn't worked here in the early going.
See Skinner trying to make a move on the inside, does not have the horsepower down the back straightaway to move up on Bobby Labonte.
And certainly he's the neophyte there, Dick Berger.
Yeah, he had never run a Winston Cup lap at Phoenix International Raceway. He came here with a brand new car, a crew that has practiced a bit together at the shop. They've in fact practiced quite a bit, but they've never done a pit stop at an actual race itself. And look at him, he is running a solid second here this afternoon.
Here comes Mark Martin trying to take over 4th place from Schrader there down the back straightaway. You can see that dog leg really comes into play down the back.
He gets a pretty good bite midway through the corner. You see right there. Happens at both ends of the speedway, though he was being pulled on the straightaways, Mark Martin was.
Well, that's a good part of Phoenix. You can race on the outside. You see Schrader really fighting back on the outside. Usually you see the preferred line take over, but Schrader's holding his own on the outside there, Eli.
That's for 4th.
Both those drivers are going to have major changes next year. Schrader going to a different team, and Mark Martin's going to have a new crew chief next year. Jimmy Fennig is coming over.
Finally, beneath the Goodyear Bridge, he'll make the pass in the 4th. Schrader 5th. Jarrett now in 6th. Kenny Wallace being shown in 7th. Jeremy Mayfield up into the 8th spot now. Rick Mast is 9th. Here in the early stages, 11 laps complete.
See Ernie Irvin there. He's moved up just a little bit now in the 28 car. He runs extremely well here. And last year, this is where everybody said that, okay, Ernie Irvin's on his way back now. He led quite a bit of this race, and you can see he's very good in traffic here today.
Trouble going off into turn number 1 as smoke came out from behind the Ricky Craven machine.
They tried to go 3 wide.
Doesn't seem as though there's anything on the racetrack.
Well, they tried to go 3 wide into turn 1, and that just didn't work.
Good scramble right there as Jeff Gordon is in the middle of that pack with Bill Elliott, Todd Bodine, Bobby Hamilton. That's the scramble back at 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th as we ride with John Andretti.
Jeff Gordon needs to get out of this pack of cars here. They're racing really close right now, and one thing he does not need is any contact with another car.
Problem with his car has been that they've been pushing. They just can't seem to get the push out of it. They loosened it up considerably this morning. He said no matter what, he said that car will turn in the corner. Hopefully it won't turn too much and get him sideways. It's interesting as well as Schrader's doing. It's the same setup in Schrader's car that Gordon came with, and Schrader stuck with it, and Gordon has changed. He's moved away from that setup.
Well, one thing you can count on, you cannot get a setup that suits two drivers. One thing about it, when I run for Richard Petty as a teammate, our cars were so different, and what I had to have in my car had to be a lot looser than what Richard was used to. So setups can't be the same for two drivers.
Jeff Gordon's in 15th, Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, this morning I was in the garage area. Dale Earnhardt pulled Ray Evernham, Gordon's crew chief, over to his car. He and his own crew chief, David Smith, showed and told Evernham everything they had under their car. Earnhardt's car was real good in practice yesterday afternoon. Ray went back over to Jeff's car, made the changes on the car, said it a lot like Earnhardt's. Ray said they didn't have the car balanced. It was not good. They just couldn't seem to find it. So he should be more like Earnhardt now than he was like Schrader.
Jeff Earnhardt now is running in 21st position. Gordon running in 15th. The leader is Bobby Labonte. We are 17 laps complete of the 312 here in the Valley of the Sun. Back with you, 19 laps in the books. Bobby Labonte, the Bush Pole sitter, has been the lone leader. Mark Martin right now in third. While you were away hearing from your local sponsors, we saw that he made a move around Ricky Rudd and grabbed the third spot, made the move between turns 3 and 4, and on the clocks right now, with the exception of Bobby Labonte, Mark Martin is the quickest on the track. One of those guys we told you about earlier who is in need of a win. There's Terry Labonte in 26th position right now in the number 5, motoring around Johnny Benson in the 30.
See Jeff Bodine there in the 7 QVC car really running well too. He runs extremely well out here, Eli.
I'm just waiting to see what Rusty Wallace does. He's in 10th and could well be in the hunt for the win because he runs these tracks well. Here goes second place now.
Mark Martin. He is on a mission, isn't he, Eli? He is really running today.
13 straight top 10 finishes, Mark Martin, and not yet to victory lane this year.
Led 14 of the 28 races so far. That's incredible that he has not yet won, and he is really good here at Phoenix. His last 4 runs, he's going to win a pair of seconds, and 8th could be his day.
Of course, last year he won Talladega, Watkins Glen. Mark Martin won at Wilkesboro, won at Charlotte. This year, the shutout of victory lane, but he's in second and he is on the move now.
Boy, I tell you, Mark Martin made it look easy going down through there. He passed him in the flat part of number 3 up there. Has a nice lead over Skinner now, and he's moved up into second place.
How much more finesse, buddy, does it take for a driver, assuming your car is perfect, at this track and it's perfect at Daytona or Talladega? How much tougher to drive a flat track?
Well, you have to concentrate a lot more here, Eli. Everybody would think the faster you run, the more you would have to really be on your P's and Q's. But here, if you miss that groove just about a half a car length, you're in a lot of trouble getting in the corner. So you really have to concentrate more here than you do at Talladega or Daytona.
Robbie Gordon is in 26th, if you're curious. One of his infrequent starts in Winston Cup, but getting set to go full-time in 1997. What a beautiful setting out here. I live in Alabama. We don't have mountains like this, and I know up in New England, and for that matter, buddy, where you live up in the Carolinas, you don't have quite the scenery we have here in this valley, nestled alongside the Australia Mountains. Just beautiful.
Well, you can see Ricky Rudd there started off in the corner and lost the front end on the car and went way up the racetrack. I think right now Ricky's car is just a little bit off in the middle part of the corner.
They're trying some different things in that car for this racetrack. You take a look underneath the hood, and the whole bottom frame rails in the front of the car, the snout, it's all been replaced. They've come up with something on their own, something novel that they're trying here. Ricky really didn't want to talk about the technology of it, but that is a very different car. It is not the car that won here last fall. That car they demolished at a test session at Martinsville.
He was with us on the radio Tuesday night, and he said it's either going to work great or we're going right to the back. But the same thing, he really wouldn't tip his hands as to exactly what was going. There's 14th place right now. John Andretti, Bill Elliott, Todd Bodine. Remember, Todd Bodine has had some good runs here. Same car that finished 4th at Wilkesboro, but he has run this racetrack pretty well in the few visits he's had here.
And just behind this group right here is Bobby Hamilton. He's like the 5th car in this group right here. You can see the 43 there. Looks very good getting in the corners.
All clear. Clear all around.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, nobody runs this racetrack any better than Bill Elliott in that number 94. A couple poles, he's won here. 4 top 5s and 8 starts. He runs this racetrack extremely well.
They're eavesdropping on the John Andretti radio transmission between himself and the Cale Yarborough pit. Up front, that's the separation. Bobby Labonte, the leader. Second is Mark Martin, still very early here in Phoenix. Battle for the lead. You're riding with Mark Martin while we remind you about NASCAR Thunder, where you can see moves like this. They've got video screens and all sorts of displays that'll show racing moves like Mark Martin just made to grab the lead here at Phoenix International Raceway. Mark Martin at lap number 33 takes over the lead from Bobby Labonte. And indeed, NASCAR Thunder open at the Gwinnett Place Mall in Atlanta, Georgia. At the Haynes Mall in Winston-Salem, they're opening up later this month at the Westtown Mall in Knoxville, Tennessee. The Vista Ridge Mall in Dallas, Texas in November, with 10 to 12 additional stores to be opening next year. We'll keep you informed of all of those locations for NASCAR Thunder. Strong move from Mark Martin.
It really is. That's the 14th time he's led in his career here at Phoenix. That's more times than anyone has ever led. And coming into this race, he was second in laps led to Rusty Wallace. It was close. He is a rocket today. He is really running this racetrack well.
He has the most top 10 finishes here, 6 of them, along with Darrell Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt, the most proficient top 10 finishers in all of the NASCAR Winston Cup races that have been held here at the Valley of the Sun. Ernie Irvan, he's running in 9th spot. Kenny Wallace, the 81, just ahead of him in the 8th position. And here comes Rusty Wallace. You've got Rick Mast right behind, 10th and 11th position.
Well, you watch Ernie Irvan go down into turn 3. That car is strong. He's pulling right up on the back of Wallace there. He's trying to get the inside groove. As they go through the flat part of this corner, you can see he's all the way up on the quarter, but he won't have the drive off the corner. You see Wallace come back on the outside. Now he's got him.
Well, as they make the pass, lap 36 on the board.
Good run for Kenny Wallace. I had a conversation in the garage recently with Kenny, and a couple of the PR guys were hanging around overhearing it, and Kenny in his normally animated mode said, I have finally learned to suppress myself. He said, I've learned how tough this division is, and I've learned to suppress myself. One of the PR guys says, well, that must have just happened about 5 minutes ago.
There you see the spread, first to second. Almost looked as though there was a wisp of smoke moments ago from behind Bobby Labonte's car. Just like going up into turn 3, but it's so tough to tell. It's bright and glary, and we'll keep a closer watch on it for you. Here goes Jeff Gordon. He'll grab 11th away from Rick Mast.
Boy, that car is steadily moving up. Jeff Gordon, they might have been complaining about the chassis before the race started, but he looks like he's really dialed in pretty good now.
Yeah, it looks like they've got it. It really does.
Lap 38 of 312. This is a 1-mile racetrack. 312 miles, 500 kilometers. There's Kyle in the 42, Earnhardt in the 3. That's 19th and 20th. Labonte is there.
You don't see that very often.
No.
The guy challenging Earnhardt on the outside. Look at Terry Labonte on the bottom there. That hand must be doing pretty well for him. He's really coming up through the traffic.
Here comes the 40. That's Robbie Gordon in the first Union colors. The 15, Wally Diamondback. And again, let's establish medically that it is not truly a broken wrist for Labonte. That's been reported in some corners. It's really the bone that connects from the thumb and the finger adjacent, your pointer, if you will, towards the wrist. It's that bone, not really the wrist itself.
Exactly, and that finger does not work well. Neither does the thumb. The other 3 fingers on the hand are operated by a different set of nerves, and they're working fine, and that's what he's grabbing the steering wheel with. Basically, the palm of his hand and those 3 fingers, and that's about it. He's left-handed, and the brake is in the left hand, so it could be going a whole lot better.
Terry Labonte, he's held the #1 spot in the points for 9 weeks this year.
Said he thinks he broke it during the crash when he went to reach for the throttle kill switch. He tried to reach across the steering wheel and kill the ignition before he hit the wall. He had a stuck throttle, knew he was going to hit hard, reached for it, and then when the thing all finished, he wound up with a broken hand.
Ernie Irvin, Mayfield, 7th and 8th right there. That's not an unusual injury, buddy. I remember when our good buddy Neil Bonnet, the late Neil Bonnet at Martinsville once, when he hit that inside curbing. It was when the wheels hit the curb and it kind of yanked the steering wheel and his hand got caught in the mix.
Sometimes the spoke in the steering wheel itself will hit your thumb and dislocate it. Hand injuries are pretty usual. I mean, I think the same thing happened to Dale Jarrett earlier in the year at Pocono.
Just been taking a closer look at Bobby Labonte while you watch the scramble mid-pack, and there seems to be no problem at all with the Interstate Batteries machine, so he continues to run a strong second to Mark Martin. There goes Earnhardt, Labonte, Jeff Gordon, excuse me, Robbie Gordon, Jeff Burton right behind him. Randy Pemberton, I see you've made your way towards the interstate pit area. What are they saying?
Well, they're certainly not saying anything about the smoke. The gauges look good in the car, and there's been no more reported smoke out of the 18 car. As far as the chassis on the automobile, they've already discussed what they want to do on the first round of pit stops. They're going to put a round of wedge in it. They're going to raise the track bar on it, and they're also going to adjust the air pressure. Bobby complaining about being significantly loose.
Lap number 44 on the board. Just joining us, only one caution. Sterling Marlin and Brett Bodine got together on lap number 5. There goes Terry Labonte grabbing the position with Earnhardt. They'll swap around, giving Labonte 20th, Earnhardt to 21st.
And as we watch some of these guys come through the pack, Eli, that started way in the back, if there is a racetrack that favors people who started the back, Phoenix is it. The very first race they ever ran here, Alan Kulwicki won it. He started 21st. Last year, Ricky Rudd started 29th and won this race. It's been won from 12th, from 13th twice. I tell you, it doesn't matter where you start at Phoenix. This is a racetrack that the driver, the engine, the chassis are all important, but not starting position.
Jeff Burton now makes the way around Dale Earnhardt. So give Burton the 21st position. Earnhardt back to 22nd. We are live in the beautiful Phoenix International Raceway in the Valley of the Sun. A look back towards Phoenix downtown. The Dura-Lube aerial camera bringing you all of the overhead views here today as we get back down to terra firma and the Kenny Schrader battle with Dale Jarrett for position as they work now for 5th and 6th spot beneath the Goodyear Bridge.
Dale Jarrett has fought to get this position on Kenny Schrader for about 5 or 6 laps. You see DJ getting down in the corner there, really good on the bottom, but Schrader really got a good run in. The preferred line is around the bottom, but coming up out of the corners, the outside groove favors the car on the outside because they get a better run off.
Jarrett's got the same car here today that he had at Rockingham, and if you were with us at Rockingham, you saw that that thing was not only incredible fast, it was very consistent as well.
Jeff Bodine, Dale Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip. Remember, DW runs this track well, and there's Michael Waltrip right alongside on the 21. That Scramble working now middle of the pack from 26th on back. Jeff Bodine, the answer to the trivia question of who led the very first NASCAR Winston Cup lap here at Phoenix International Raceway.
Eli, you can see Earnhardt's in all kind of trouble right now. His car is not running through the middle part of the corner like it should, and they're ganging up behind him. He's actually holding this bunch up right here.
It's ironic his teammate Skinner is still running in 3rd spot and hanging on very nicely. Earnhardt's having his problems.
Up front, it's still a better than a second of an advantage now for Mark Martin while we watch the scramble mid-pack. Dale Earnhardt now having backslid to 26th position, Randy.
Well, he's complaining about being real loose in the middle of both 1 and 2 and at 3 and 4. And what that does is it makes the car real tight coming off of the corner. They're therefore he can't jump back in the throttle, loses all those RPMs, can't get down the straightaways. So what they're going to do is they're going to go ahead and unhook the rear sway bar. About half of these teams out here today running rear sway bars, and they've got a bolt cutter to go ahead and snap that rear sway bar to unhook it. So that's going to be the adjustment on their very first pit stop.
What does that mean, Buddy Baker? What will that do to the race car?
Well, what it'll do, it'll let it roll through the corner more. With the rear sway bar, it tends to make the car turn a lot better in the center part of the corner, making it a little bit looser. So they are going to try to take that loose. But the big problem is, if he's not careful, he's going to go a lap down. He's 3/4 of a lap behind right now. Mark Martin is flying around this racetrack.
Let's go back up front. We'll show you exactly where everybody's running. There is the leader, Mark Martin. Now we'll let him come through the picture and go back to the third car there in the picture. That's Bobby Labonte, who now is beginning to close in just a bit as he works around Ricky Craven. Then you go back to Mike Skinner. He's running in third spot, the white machine, number 31. So there you see the interval from first to second. There's Skinner being shown in third. Ricky Rudd is fourth. You look for the orange colors. There he is beneath the Goodyear crossover bridge. He's in the fourth spot. And now back from there to Dale Jarrett. We'll show you the interval there as we take you back towards the fifth spot as we widen out. And there is Dale Jarrett in the familiar number 88. So that gives you that scramble. And here's a good battle right behind them. That's Bobby Hamilton and Ernie Irvan now. They're working for 7th and 8th spot as they go towards turn number 3.
Oh, what a strong run Ernie Irvan had here last year in this event. Sure looked like he was going to win it.
Well, he's running good today, but Bobby Hamilton's running just a little bit better as he makes the pass on 28 of Ernie Irvan.
Remember, we mentioned in the opening that Ernie led 111 laps here a year ago. That's what the guys are talking about. We're 59 laps in. 312 make up the distance in front of a sun-drenched crowd in Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona, and there you see the point contenders and how things are shaping up here today. Only Bobby Labonte and Mark Martin have led today's Dura-Lube 500, hence no bonus points for either Terry Labonte, Jeff Gordon, or Dale Jarrett. The other man in fourth in points, Dale Earnhardt, he continues to backslide to 27th. You know, it's getting to the point now, fellas, where Earnhardt is so loose in the corners, buddy, he really can't take advantage of the straightaways because of it.
You're exactly right, Eli. He is having a battle off the corner because of the loose condition, and having to stay out of the throttle, and he's just not running at all down the straightaway.
Meanwhile, Mark Martin showing the way. 3 times this year he's finished in second spot at Sears Point, the second race at Michigan, the second race at Charlotte, but he is right now, Glenn Jarrett, wearing everybody out.
Yes, he is. Right now, they're looking at pitting Eli on lap 75. Also, Dale Jarrett looking about that time. Most of them don't want to run much longer than that. They're figuring 85 laps is the outside. The first time, they always want a short pit, as they call it, to get a look at the tires. They say they'll make no adjustments on Mark Martin's car. Dale Jarrett reporting a little bit tight. They want to loosen it up off the corner. Jeff Gordon has been running lap times consistently the same as Mark Martin. So we were talking in break. They'd like to see a caution. He's got a car capable of running up front.
Well, pit stops are starting for some of the fellas. If you see the battle right there now for 5th between Jarrett and Bobby Hamilton. But Joe Nemechek is on the pit lane, and Glenn was saying around lap 75. Well, some are in now at lap number 68. So the beginning of that window of opportunity for pit stops as you watch a very good run for Bobby Hamilton.
Boy, Bobby Hamilton is really dialed in. He just drove right up under Dale Jarrett going in the corner there. You can see he can turn the car down, and that is very important here at Phoenix.
Guy looks like a winner. He really does. He's led 9 races so far this year. He's got 2 poles. He's been so strong at so many different racetracks. Just has not yet won, but it will not be long at the rate this 43 team is going before they find victory lane.
Of course, it has absolutely no bearing, but remember the old days when we used to run Riverside, California, and then come here on the way back east for the old Winston West race, and Richard Petty was always tough, and Neil Bonnet and Cale Yarborough always tough when we ran here years ago.
Yeah, but Richard won more of them than anybody else, and he sure knows a lot about this racetrack and what to do to make a car go fast on it.
Lake Speed makes his pit stop as we watch Jeff Gordon now and John Andretti. They work in the 11th and 12th positions respectively. We're at lap 70. 5 laps or so for when we should be seeing most of the top runners make their first pit stop of the day.
You watched TNN on Tuesday night. You watched the Jeff Gordon program that was on there.
Wide open.
There were some wonderful sound bites, but I think the best one came out of Ray Evernham, who just looked at the camera and said, "We just refuse not to get it." He was talking about the Winston Cup Championship. These guys are ever so focused despite the adversity they have faced in the last 2 races.
Look at Bobby Hamilton there just ahead of the 10 car of Ricky Rudd there. And I tell you, you're talking about Jeff Gordon running quite well. If you'll look just behind him when we get a chance in a few moments, just behind him, the 5 car is moving in contention here. Terry Labonte is really cutting through traffic.
Matter of fact, the last lap, Mark Martin was at a 29.24 seconds. Terry Labonte at a 28.95, so a significantly quicker lap as spotted there by Buddy Baker. This should be interesting right here.
See Terry just behind. That's Gordon there with the Dayglow back end on the car. And you can see Terry Labonte has turned up the heat on these people right now. He wants to get up there with Jeff if at all possible.
That's 13th place you're looking at.
What would be the biggest problem he'd be faced with today, buddy, in terms of that hand being all wrapped up the way it is, and a couple of finger there is numb and the thumb is numb? What's his biggest problem going to be?
I'm going to tell you, when you're running good as he is right now, and he just called in to his crew and said, this car is flawless. He said, it's doing exactly what I want it to do. You forget those kind of things. Now, when they drop the checkered flag, he'll fall out of there, start grabbing those hands and everything else. But when you're running good, you're numb all over. It really feels good.
And of course, he's got the weekend off next week. It's an idle weekend before heading on to Atlanta. So a chance to recoup. Of course, some of the most serious injuries that Terry Labonte has had, if there is such a thing when you talk about injuries, have come at an opportune time. His big injuries came at season's end after Riverside, California years ago, that allowed him to rest up in time for the start of the next season. Here comes Jeff Gordon on pit road, joining Ward Burton, Robert Presley. They are in for service. We're right at lap 75, just as Glenn Jarrett told you we could expect. And now around the curve. This is a curving pit road here. Your eyes are not deceiving you. And Glenn, he should be coming to your position right now.
He just stopped, Eli. The crew goes around to the right side of the tires to start over there. Sometimes here at Phoenix we see two-tire stops. First off, we're going to see 4-tire stops. They want to look at all the tires the first chance they get to see what the wear is like. Then they'll know if they can go to maybe a 2-tire stop later on. They got the left side up right now. We've got the clock on him. He's down and away. Great pit stop, 18.67 seconds. Good pit stop for Jeff Gordon.
Kenny Schrader is in. Earnhardt making his way down the pit lane. As you see, he'll go right by the 99. They got a quick glimpse of the Exide team working on Jeff Burton's car. Meanwhile, up front, Bobby Labonte has caught Mark Martin. They're at lap 77. And Bobby Labonte, who led the first 32 laps, reassumes the top spot here in Phoenix. Meanwhile, pit stops. Dale Earnhardt is in.
4-tire stop for Dale Earnhardt. No opportunity to cut that rear bar off for him, so they just made an adjustment. Dale Earnhardt down and away as Rusty Wallace rolls into pit road. He needs his pit stop drastically.
Mark Martin running in second spot while others make their pit stops. Jeremy Mayfield, Kenny Wallace, Kyle Petty, Jimmy Spencer is in. Here comes Mark Martin. He'll peel off the limited banking of turn 4. Bobby Hillin is in. Hut Strickland. Martin is in at lap number 79. Here comes Ricky Rudd in for service. Ricky Craven comes off the racetrack for his pit stop as well.
It looks to me like Terry Labonte might be trying to stay out there long enough to lead that 5-point lap.
We mentioned Mark Martin making his stop, Glenn.
And he is in. As I said, he is extremely happy with the car, Eli. They don't anticipate making any changes whatsoever. In fact, we took a poll of all the crew chiefs in the garage here this morning. They all said the number 6 car was the car to beat. Thus far, he has been. They're already around to the left side. Left front tire change was really quick. He's down and away in 19.3 seconds. Randy?
Well, it was a 4-tire stop for Ricky Rudd, down and away, a little wedge in the left side. The 18 car is now in. Bobby Labonte. It's going to be 4 tires. They're going to go ahead and change the air pressure. Bobby Labonte reported that the right rear tire was flat worn out. So 4 tires, filling up with 2 cans of Unicale fuel. Little trouble on the left front for the Interstate Battery Chevy team. He's down and away.
Here come the 2 Robert Yates cars in. Meanwhile, up front, you've got Bobby Hamilton showing the way. The STP Pontiac has not yet made his pit stop, so Bobby Hamilton being shown as the race leader.
Not for long. He just peeled off, and Hamilton is on the way down pit road.
Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Dale Jarrett brings his car in. He also was trying to stay out to lead a lap, but Bobby Hamilton beat him to it. He ran one more lap than DJ did. This crew had great pit stops last week at Rockingham, and now they've got trouble on the left side. Big trouble. I don't know what happened. Actually, it was on the right-hand side of Jackman. A little slow getting here. Wow, 21.5 seconds. That's by far the worst pit stop they've had in a while. That'll cost him some distance on the racetrack.
Lap 82, that's the stop for Labonte. Robbie Gordon is in. Others making their stops as the Gary Dehart-led crew goes to work.
Eli didn't stay out that extra lap,
Nope.
though. He did not pick up the 5 bonus points for leading a lap.
So you had your leaders were Mark Martin in that exchange. Then Bobby Hamilton will pick up the lead. He will lead for just 1 lap. And then the lead reassumes on the part of Mark Martin at lap number 83. So still to this moment, those battling for the championship have yet to pick up 5 bonus points. We're live at Phoenix in the Dura-Lube 500. There you've got 2 of the Hendrick machines, the 2 men battling for the championship, or 2 of the men battling for the championship. They are in 9th and 10th positions respectively. Terry Labonte and Jeff Gordon as they scramble here at Phoenix International. Let's bring you up to speed on who led laps. If you're keeping tabs at home, that's how the point leaders are running. During that sequencing of stops, Jack Sprague was also credited with leading a couple of laps. So we told you about Bobby Hamilton and Mark Martin. The 1 lap in the middle there between the 2, Jack Sprague actually beat everybody back to the stripe. So give him 5 points of a bonus as he picked up a lap lead bonus here today at Phoenix. Otherwise, you're up to speed, and across the top of the screen, of course, we'll continue to update you all day long on exactly how your favorites are running.
Eli, you can see that right now the 6th car there, Mark Martin going down in the corner. Look at all the cars in front of him. But let me tell you how good he's running right now. As good as Labonte and Jeff Gordon are running, they're a half a lap behind Mark Martin. That's how good this guy is running around this racetrack.
Now let's see how he picks his way through traffic.
Boy, that's a big, big mess of cars right in front of him. Robbie Gordon on the outside, Dick Trickle on the bottom. Happy birthday to Dick. He's 55 years old today, and they put a sign in the back of the car said he can drive 55. I don't think Trickle knows how to drive 55.
I don't believe so.
No.
Thankfully, you refrained after 1 sentence.
Yeah, that was enough of that.
6th place Scramble. We're riding with Dale Jarrett as he battles Kenny Schrader.
Hammer going to stick with that team next year as the crew chief, the 25. Ricky Craven coming on as the driver.
A lot of changes for 1997.
It's not just drivers anymore either. It's crew chiefs jumping around. And one of them yesterday was talking to me, and he says, you know the kind of money they're talking about for crew chiefs? He says, you start thinking about it, he says, you can really get pretty goofy. They just have so much money, and the good car owners are trying to lure the best people, and everybody's jumping around trying to gain an advantage. Problem is, only one guy can win these races. Only one crew chief can win on any given weekend, and everybody expects you're going to win a whole bunch of them.
You're right, though, but the pay scale is right up there with editors and publishers of magazines.
I wish.
Mark Martin, he just did rub a bit with Dick Trickle there. They had a little smoke come up from between the Valvoline and Heilig-Myers Fords.
Eli, you can remember last week in Rockingham, the same thing. He had to give him a little touch there.
Remember that?
Robbie Gordon up there in the 40 car.
Joe Nemechek on the right of the screen there in the Burger King Chevy.
They're going to be teammates next year, both running for Felix Sabates.
Of course, Felix having a major program next year. Robbie Gordon in the 40 with Tony Glover as the crew chief. Joe Nemechek with Mike Hillman in the 87. Wally Dallenbach and Brad Nofsinger in a 15-race schedule next year. And John Erickson, who used to be with Pontiac, then went over to the NHRA, the National Hot Rod Association, as their chief tech man, if you will, their version of Gary Nelson. He is now coming over to Team Samco to help orchestrate it all.
And he's a good one. He's going to make a big difference there.
Mark Martin being patient, and you got to be patient here.
He better not be too patient. Just back of this group right here, Bobby Hamilton's coming up so fast. I mean, it looks like he's running everybody else's weight. That's how good he's running through traffic right now. He's pulled right down. He's about 2.5 seconds behind the lead right now.
Everybody holding their positions, waiting and looking at lap number 98. Nobody today needing any relief drivers yet. But if anybody around here needs a relief pitcher, Glenn Jarrett, looks like you found yourself a dandy down there.
Eli, I found quite possibly the best relief pitcher ever. If you're a baseball fan like I am, folks, you know this man, World Series hero. Everybody knows the handlebar mustache, Raleigh Fingers. Raleigh, what are you doing to race today?
I'm here with Upper Deck and enjoying myself. I'm glad it's a safe race so far.
What about you? Think you might have a second career in stock car racing one day?
No. No desire to go out there whatsoever.
Well, we're glad you're here. Thanks a lot for stopping by.
Okay, thanks a lot. Gary Clem, I love your work, guy.
Gary Clem being our director here for TNN Motorsports, and everybody loves his work. We heard the same from Richard Petty in a testimonial earlier today. Saw Raleigh Fingers at the World Series earlier this week. He was there for the folks at Gillette, trying to give away $1 million to that fan who had to try and throw a strike prior to game 4. Didn't make it. Gave the guy a check for 50 grand anyway. So nice to see Raleigh Fingers here. There's old Mark Martin. He's the race leader and methodically picking his way through that pack of race traffic.
Well, he was until he got to the 40 car of Robbie Gordon, and he has not been able to do a thing with Gordon, who is running a very strong race today. That's the green car on the bottom.
Of course, Bobby Hamilton very much in the mix.
Just
1.5 seconds from the leader back to third place. Hamilton in third. Bobby Labonte is the middleman there.
You see Bobby Labonte in the green car, just behind the 41 there, Ricky Craven. You can see this car, the Petty car, is really handling well. Bobby Hamilton has to be pleased with that car.
Mark Martin, the race leader now, as we continue to work lap 101. A quick race, only one caution flag thus far, and nobody in the garage. Hope you're enjoying with us here on TNN Motorsports, and those of you who are online with NASCAR Online, hope you're enjoying as well. David Hyatt and his staff out here in Phoenix, keeping everybody in the computer world updated with scoring and all the latest news. www.nascar.com. And of course, before too much longer, TNN is going to be on board with country.com, and we'll be telling you more about that as time draws near. Second place now, Bobby Hamilton. How did he get by Bobby Labonte? Let's take you back a few moments ago and take a look at exactly how it happened.
You can see Hamilton on the bottom there in the 43. Wow, you talk about getting in the corner. I will tell you this, Bobby Labonte had watched him in the mirror, realized he was quicker, and this part of the race, you don't hold people up just for the fun of it. So he could see Hamilton was quite a bit faster.
Circumstances like that, you just hurt yourself trying to hold a guy behind you. It's great strategy at a 25 lapper on some Saturday night short track, but out here where the races are so long, you let him go, work on the car, get the car straightened out.
That's fifth place you're riding with right now. The battle for fifth. Dale Jarrett, with whom we are riding. Mike Skinner just ahead of him in the Realtree entry. Back onto the main straightaway.
Whoa. I tell you what, Ricky Rudd got really sideways there. Made a little contact with Joe there, Joe Nemechek in the 87. Very lucky they didn't spin them.
We're at lap 109 of 312. His race just clicking right along. Slowed only once on lap 5 when Sterling Marlin and Brett Bodine got together in turns 3 and 4. Sterling spun initially, then Brett came along in the aftermath.
Wow.
Boy, look at Skinner's move going around to the inside of lap traffic.
Now we're talking about crew chief moves. David Smith is going to be moving to the Skinner operation next year. At the moment, for 1997 at least, the crew chief job with Dale Earnhardt is open.
And I think probably the three of us are the only guys who haven't submitted resumes. I mean, what a great job opportunity.
Don't want to be a crew chief. That's like being a college coach. You can get fired before you get hired almost.
111 laps on the board as Ernie Irvan now challenges Skinner. Skinner's in 6th. Ernie in the 28. Jack Sprague is at 52 right behind them, if you're not familiar with it. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series star. Fresh from Victory Lane. Running a solid race here today.
You know, we had talked about flat tracks a little while ago, and Ernie Irvan won on a flat track with his same car. Actually, 2 flat tracks. He won Richmond with this car, and he also won at New Hampshire with the same car. It led all those laps last year in this car. This is a car that runs extremely well on flat tracks.
You're seeing where it runs the best right now down the straightaway. That car is a rocket ship. Right about this part of the racetrack, it runs well.
And you know what? That's 2 weeks in a row that we have talked about those cars, the 88 and the 28, running down the straightaway so fast. That, folks, is horsepower coming out of the hole, and pretty much everybody acknowledges that Robert Gates has found something in those Ford engines where he's got a 20-30 horsepower advantage over the others.
Meanwhile, Derek Cope about to go a lap down in 25th position, and look at Bobby Hamilton, the 43. He has caught Mark Martin. That's the battle for the lead. On pit road, we've seen Jeremy Mayfield and Hutch Strickland in over the last few moments for tire changes. And that's the view that Martin has in his rear view mirror as we ride with Mark. And look at Bobby Hamilton.
That didn't go last very long. Bobby Hamilton's car is able to turn in the center part of the corner better than any car on the racetrack. If he gets up anywhere close to the 6th car there of Mark Martin, I think he'll drive right by him on the bottom side.
Johnny Benson has run well too. He's gotten lapped, but he has been able to hang right in there since getting put down that lap. Finished 2nd in the truck race here yesterday.
Oh, they have trouble.
They have trouble. Martin gets together with Cope. Hamilton goes by. Cope is in the wall, and caution is on the speedway.
Eli, we don't even have to see a replay on that one. That was the actual, we were watching the lead cars there, and you could see that Mark Martin got into the side of the 12 car there and just turned right around.
So caution on the speedway. Bobby Hamilton, the new leader of the Dura-Lube 500, the 3rd different race he has led here at Phoenix International Raceway. He led here in '89, in '91, and now here in 1996. Bobby Hamilton, the new leader of the Dura-Lube 500. Let's take another look, fellas.
Well, you see on the outside there, the 12 car comes down just a little bit. You see Mark Martin touch him on the left rear corner. Now he turns around. Watch this lick in this flat track hard into the corner there on the left rear.
I'll tell you something, old Mark Martin took him a long time and almost finally cleared all of that traffic.
Bobby Allison winds up with another wrecked race car. That's 2 races in a row for him, and he needed a break, and a good break. This is not it.
No, it is not.
Wow, you can see how much damage is done there. And the roll cage there coming down in the back glass, you can actually see the roll bar itself bent.
Bobby Hamilton, the 10th race of the year that the STP Pontiac has led, the 3rd race at Phoenix in his career that he has led.
Cope climbing out now. He was 2nd in this show last year. It was his best finish all year in 1995, and here they come down pit road.
Lap 117 will be these pit stops. 117 as all the leaders make themselves present on the pit lane. Let's go to Randy Pemberton. He's close to Bobby Hamilton.
The STP Pontiac has hit its mark. No adjustments that are going to be significant on this pit stop. It's going to be 4 tires as we see Mark Martin getting ready to pit. The 18 car is in as well. They're around to the left side of the STP Pontiac as we speak. No adjustments. 2nd can of Unocal gas already in. Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mark Martin is down and away. He only changed 2 tires, as did Dale Jarrett. Only about 11-second pit stops down here, guys, for the both of those 2 tire stops. As we said earlier on, they may happen. Martin put about a round of bite in. He was just a little bit loose that time.
You know, for everything that happens bad on the racetrack, there were a ton of race cars, good race cars that were about to go a lap down that are right back in the fight now after they make these adjustments on the cars. Too bad for Derek Cope, though. The car was running well. You hate to see him get bent up like that.
25 teams on the lead lap. Dale Earnhardt's bunch still working on the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet on the pit lane. And he is down and away and back to work. 118 laps on the board. We are live at Phoenix International Raceway. Glad you're with us. We're back in a moment. Now, where they are showing, and of course, They have not led any laps today. None of the point contenders have. Meanwhile, on the pit lane, everybody was in. Randy Pemberton. Some came in for 2 tires, some for 4. How did it shake down?
Well, the first guy I want to talk to you about is Dale Earnhardt. He has been really struggling out there. They wanted to go ahead and take the bolt cutter and cut the rear bar. They certainly did do that. He's also been complaining about the fact that his front tires are chattering. He thinks he's got a problem with the shock. So they've gone ahead and changed 4 tires on the 3 car, sent him back out. The 28 car, Ernie Irvan, 4 tires. They went ahead and took some wedge out. That was just about 1 round. The 2 team, Rusty Wallace, they brought the track bar down. He has been loose all afternoon, was lucky to stay on the lead lap. And the 24 car of Jeff Gordon, they also went 1.5 rounds down on the rear track bar. Glenn Jarrett.
Okay, Randy, everybody up here took 4 tires with the exception of the 6 car and the 88 car. That's why they're running 1-2 right now. Dale Jarrett, again, trying to get out front, lead some extra bonus laps. One of Rusty Wallace's crew guys came up and asked me, hey, man, who took 4 tires, who took 2? I went ahead and told him, since I'm telling the rest of the world, I guess it's okay to tell him.
They're getting set to go back to green, and hopefully you're getting set to go to Opryland USA, the official destination of NASCAR. For more information on Opryland, call that number you see on the screen, 615-889-6611. Phone lines are open Monday through Friday. I was up there at Opryland for some meetings this past week, getting all set for their country Christmas. Great time to take the family up to Nashville, Tennessee. Call them and make your plans. We're going green. Lap 122 will be going up on the board, this time by
Johnny Benson on the inside had just lost his lap before that caution flag. He has been very strong. Will he be able to gain it back? This is the time for him to try to do it.
It looks like he's going to get the move on Martin as they start down towards the back straightaway. You can see he is back on the tail end of the lead lap. But the way the 6 car Mark Martin's running, I don't think Benson's going to be able to hold him off.
Interesting thing, we'll be able to watch Bobby Hamilton work through traffic again and get towards the front if he can get there, having a challenge for the lead just a short while ago. Of course, across the top of the screen, the field standing update brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running, and we keep our scoreboard running for you throughout the course of the afternoon.
Benson hanging in there.
He is holding on pretty well there. That's what I know about restarts. Everybody runs good on new tires, though. As you go along, the better race cars will come to the front. But Bobby Hamilton right now is kind of caught up in traffic, and he's not able to move in on Martin like he could a while ago.
Look at that mess in the middle of the field. Jeff Gordon's in there, Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte.
John Andretti has just pitted again. 88, Jarrett.
Okay, this is for 5 points as he comes towards the start-finishing line here. Dale Jarrett will pick up 5 bonus points for leading the lap.
Well, Dale Jarrett shows the way. Lap 126 will be his.
His strategy this time is the same as it was 2 weeks ago at Rockingham. Lead the most laps, win the race.
I'm watching Mark Martin. They must have adjusted on that car the wrong way because he's falling back as we speak. You can see that Michael Waltrip just went by on the inside of the 21 Citgo car there. And Mike Skinner's making a move up on the inside. Bobby Hamilton has run this group down.
We also mentioned moments ago that John Andretti had been on the pit lane, a flat left rear tire, the reason for that unscheduled stop.
Wow, look at this. They're all over Mark Martin. He is definitely not as fast now as he was before that round of pit stops.
The other factor is, did he do any damage to his car in the contact with Derek Cope's machine? And going to the garage area now is Jeremy Mayfield. Mayfield has taken his car to the garage. Glenn, did Martin do any damage to his car, do they think, in that shunt with Cope?
No, I don't think so, Eli. I was just talking to one of the crew guys asking that. They're saying that the car is just a little loose right now. When they changed right sides only, this set of right sides wasn't as well matched to the set of left sides they left on the car as the previous set. They don't think there's any damage. And Mark Martin's style has always been, let's let things settle down, let's let things shake out. He said, one of the crew guys said that, hey, everybody else just in a big hurry right now. We're just taking our time. We want to be there at the end. So other than just being a little loose, I think he's okay.
We're riding with Mark Martin. Here goes Bobby Hamilton.
Now you watch Bobby go in this corner. What a great handling race car.
Just dives right into that flat corner and comes out with second spot. One of the best runs we have seen for Petty Enterprises in a long, long while. We're at lap 129. 3:12 make up the distance in the Dura-Lube 500. Welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway. A good look at the infield. You can see where their infield road course circulates throughout this 1 mile layout. The folks at Dura-Lube bringing us all of the overhead camera views today from Phoenix International Raceway. Kenny Schrader, Bill Elliott, Terry Labonte. That's 14th, 15th, 16th position. You've got Jeff Gordon right behind them and so on.
Gordon and Labonte together again. There have been
behind them.
There have been so many times they have been first and second.
Whoa, Robbie Gordon.
That was a few moments ago.
Robbie Gordon lost that car and went up and hit Wallace on the back end, and then of course Rusty Wallace, the brother, come along and almost got in the melee.
Believe it or not, Gordon and Labonte have finished first, second. That's 1, 2, 5 times this year. In 1996, the races that have been run, one of those two guys has been in either first or second. 60.
Oh, there goes Gordon. Robbie Gordon into the wall. He just shot out of the groove heading towards turn number 1 and stopped at the retaining wall. Here comes Bert Benson trying to get his lap back. Johnny can't do it. The lead still held by Dale Jarrett, and Johnny Benson unable to get his lap back. You can see Robbie Gordon moving around, takes the safety net down. He was in 19th spot as he brings out the third caution flag of the day.
Eli, that car didn't scrub off any speed whatsoever before it got into the outside wall. That was a hard lick.
There he is. We'll take a look and see if we can just basically the tail end.
Oh, he hit hard.
He was still in the middle of that pack of traffic that we saw bouncing around a short while ago.
What can happen there so many times, Eli, in a chain of cars like that? Somebody slows up a little bit in front, you touch the brake, and that's where the car is unloading a little bit. The back end jumps around sideways, and I'm telling you, that thing flew up into that outside wall.
Meanwhile, we told you Randy Pemberton went to the garage to check on Jeremy Mayfield. Looks like they're working under the hood. What are they trying to do, Randy?
Well, they certainly are, Eli. Originally, I came in to check on Derek Cope. He's in a trailer. We'll try and get a word with him, but I caught up with Jeremy. Jeremy, the car sounded like it was running fine when it came in. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, it's fine. We first off, we had a good run going for the Kmart Little Caesars for us. Brand new race car and run awfully good today, and we broke something in the steering. Something keeps blowing power steering lines and stuff off of it, but we'll fix it, and our day is coming.
Okay, that's the story from Jeremy Mayfield. One other word, Mark Martin has sent word over to the Derek Cope team to apologize for the crash that the 12 car was in with him. Said he was sorry that they made contact.
So we are under caution for the third time today as Robbie Gordon finds the wall in turn number 1. Pit stops taking place for a number of teams, including Dale Earnhardt and Kyle Petty. We'll come back to update all in just a moment. A lot of great NASCAR nuts on hand here in the Valley of the Sun. We're coming right back. The field's going to get the 1 to go signal as they come towards the start-finish line. There's what remains of the first Union entry. They had to put her on a flatbed truck to get it to the garage, and I guess regretfully, these crashing out of the races DNFs are coming to be kind of a regular thing here in Robbie Gordon's resume.
Yeah, he started 7 Winston Cup races, crashed out of 5 of them, but that's part of the process of going really fast in this series. He comes from off-road and other places. He will learn, he will stop crashing, and he will win lots of races.
But we are getting reports that he might have got touched getting into the corner down there. So
well, we saw
let me tell you, I don't
yeah.
care how much experience you have. If somebody touches you getting in the corner, you're going around.
Yeah, we saw that little shunt they had a few laps earlier with 5 or 6 guys. Jack Sprague, Mayfield with a couple of problems they are trying to rectify, hoping to get the Kmart Little Caesars entry back into this Dura-Lube 500. Elmo Langley takes the safety car to the sanctuary of the pit lane, and here we go. Dale Jarrett showing the way at the green.
Dale Jarrett, it took no chances going down in the first corner there. He really got a great start. The man on the move right now is Mark Martin on the outside. As you can see there, he moves right up on the back of the 43 car.
Mark Martin running in third spot behind Bobby Hamilton. You see the yellow car, the Pennzoil Pontiac. Johnny Benson did not get his lap back.
Skinner went way up, almost got the wall. That was the car you saw on the high side.
Trouble beneath the bridge as a couple of cars will spin, but Rusty Wallace, who did go around, is not hit by anybody. Everybody continues away, and we remain under green. But Rusty Wallace, who was 22nd, has now gone all the way to the back of the field as the Miller colors spun beneath the Goodyear Bridge. And look at that scramble now. Behind the race leader, Dale Jarrett, who is leading for the 20th different race this year. And I'll tell you something, Glenn Jarrett, he's running well, but Mark Martin is in the hunt still.
Yes, he is. And Steve Neal told me during that caution, Eli, that when they first put those right sides on, they were cold. The left sides were hot. The car got a little bit loose, and he just didn't like it. So he backed off, built some heat up in the tires. Now he says the car is as good or maybe even better than it was before. Look for Martin to go back to the front.
Boy, Bobby Hamilton's having all kind of trouble with Benson trying to get by him there, and he's really losing a lot of time to the 88 car of Dale Jarrett.
Let's go back a moment and give you a better look at what happened to Rusty Wallace beneath the bridge.
You see Rusty getting in the corner there. He gets way around sideways. It was either that or run into the back of his brother Kenny. So I'm sure he had to check up and got the car real loose getting in the corner there.
Now back to live action at lap number 143. We're just 13 laps shy of halfway. It's that quick of a race here at Phoenix. Average time has been right at 3 hours and 1 minute for this event. So this one boogies on pretty good.
Eli, you watch these cars fighting with Johnny Benson on the outside. That outside line keeps you bent down where you really can't get going. But when Hamilton got by, he's really running down the leader, Dale Jarrett now.
There you got 10th place on back now in your screen as John Andretti gives us a good look forward.
Things get tight. That's coming off turn 4. That's down the front straightaway there. These cars you can see right there. That's not an illusion. They are that close.
Ernie Irvan there is 10th from the 28 car. You've got Musgrave in 11th and car 16. Rick Mast in the 1 right behind him. You've got Labonte, Terry Labonte in 14th. Gordon is 15th. Jeff Burton right behind as well.
Looks like Talladega.
Doesn't it though? We ride with Morgan Shepherd. Robbie Gordon has just come from the infield care center. Randy Pemberton is there with him. Randy?
Well, Robbie's fine, but kind of a tough start to this Winston Cup career, Robbie.
3 times now. Got some bad luck. Hopefully we get it out this year and we can start off in Daytona strong. This will be the last race we'll run besides Japan. So, you know, we got some experience here at Phoenix. It's one thing we wanted to do, so when we come back next year, we got a few miles around the track.
What happened?
Ran into the back of me again. You know, they've done it to me twice now on 2 weekends in a row, and I think we had a pretty good race car, but, you know, we'll put a bigger bumper on and come back next year.
Okay, that's the story with Robbie Gordon. And I talked with his crew chief, Tony Glover, just moments ago. He said, this kid is going to be good. And he had a smile on his face when he had a wrecked race car in the garage area, and Tony Glover's one of the best.
One thing nobody has ever taken from Robbie Gordon is his ability. The man can downright drive. You know what gives some of the best indications was from the IROC series, the International Racer Champions, when these Winston Cup veterans, the IndyCar guys, the road racers all get out and they say, man, that Robbie Gordon can drive.
And you know what? He didn't point out which bumper was going to be bigger, the front one or the back one. I wonder.
There you go. Well, the lead had been 1 2/10 seconds. It is now down to just 7/10 of a second. There's the stretch from Dale Jarrett back to Bobby Hamilton. We near the halfway point. You are watching a great scramble up front as Bobby Hamilton has taken the lead from Dale Jarrett. Let's take you back just a 3/4 of a lap ago and show you how Hamilton rooted his way to the lead.
Well, you see him coming up there. You could actually see the 88 car of Jarrett get a little bit loose. These Fords have a tendency, once you get right up under the back of the car, to make them loose when you're that close. He was actually loose before they touched.
Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace has taken the Miller colors to the garage area, and that remains remarkable. Rusty with 3 top 5s here, Glenn Jarrett, and still no wins at Phoenix.
Well, it is remarkable, Eli. He runs so well on this racetrack and all the flat tracks. But I asked Robin Pemberton what happened. The crew is emptying out the pit stall here. He just shrugged his shoulders and said, we blew up. So they're going back to the garage area. Don't know how extensive it is, but usually when they say it, that's just say that.
Caution.
That's it for the day. Caution on the racetrack.
It's Bobby Hillen and Jeff Burton getting together beneath the Goodyear Bridge as the leaders were coming to that $10,000 lap from Gatorade, but that is going to go away for the time being, and caution is on the speedway. Bobby Hillen, there he is on the right of your screen, and on the left of your screen, the Exide colors of Jeff Burton, who is able, as you can clearly see, to pull away. That's been an action spot here, going beneath the bridge ever since I can remember.
Eli, you carry so much turn speed going in that back straightaway there. If you ever touch there, it just like it's like on a major road going into town. Somebody crosses up, everybody starts stacking up, and before long, it's just chain reaction wrecks.
It's also the place everybody tries to pass. You get a good run coming out of the second quarter, dive into the third quarter, you get underneath the bridge, you've either got it done or there are problems.
Now let's take a look at the wreck, and then we'll show you what also happened behind it. First, oh, Hillen's already broken loose. Schrader nearly goes around there. Oh, and then you got, there's what happened to Andretti. But you see, Hillen was already loose, guys.
Yeah, he was gone going into the corner. Didn't Schrader do a nice job?
Yeah, oh, look at that.
Sterling Marlin went through there wide open.
Did you see Gordon? Did you see Gordon and Labonte? Watch this again. Watch what happens here.
Well, that's just when one checks up and the other cannot check up quick enough. You can see Hillen going down the wall there. Of course, the 5 car was ahead, so he could see it.
I like Schrader going through there sideways myself. Yeah, that was great.
Here's how Morgan Shepherd saw it.
Well, if you get a chance to watch the 4 car go through here, he never even checked up. He ran through there wide open.
And one more time, here's the ride Andretti took. He and Jeff Burton got together. And now Glenn Jarrett down on the pit lane.
Well, the 88 car of Dale Jarrett and the 6 car of Mark Martin were just in almost identical pit stops. Jarrett led Martin in, and he beat him out just by a few tenths of a second, so good pit stops there. They did change 4 tires this time. There were no 2-tire changes down here at all that I have seen. I'll find out from Schrader and Gordon. Randy?
Well, I was down here checking on Terry Labonte and the 5 team. They were running 14th prior to that caution. I walked up to Terry's wife, Kim Labonte. I said, how is he feeling? Because she does have radio contact with Terry. Said he's absolutely fine. He's not complaining a bit. Terry came down pit road, changed right side tires only, trying to pick up a little track position, get out there so he can get rid of a little bit of traffic. Now we have the guys that are a lap down or more pitting on pit road.
So pit stops the name of the game. We are at lap 158, just past halfway at a jam-packed Phoenix International Raceway. Welcome back to Phoenix and some of the beautiful countryside around this racetrack. Hey, it's not too early to make your plans for TNN's Salute to Motorsports, June 25th through 29th at Opryland, USA, Nashville, Tennessee. You see the phone number to call. Give them a yell at 889-6611 and make sure you're on hand to join all of us. Well, we have just gone past the halfway point, so the Splitfire mid-race update brought to you by Splitfire. Enter the performance zone with Splitfire Performance V spark plugs, and there you see the numbers. And out of the event, Rusty Wallace, you certainly would expect to add others here before too much longer. Bobby Hillen banged up his car fairly severely. Otherwise, we are clean and green. A quick cleanup, and we're going back to work just past halfway here at Phoenix International Raceway.
This is a good chance for Michael Waltrip to try to get back in the lead lap here. You see him fighting on the inside, has that preferred line as they go into turn 1. He should get a good run down the back straightaway, but you see Jimmy Spencer fighting back on the outside.
Now, Spencer did not pit, remember, so he is the race leader, but hasn't the fresh Goodyears. Well, Michael Waltrip is on the tail end of the lead lap.
Boy, oh boy, boy, this is when you hold your breath. When they're running side by side like this all the way around this racetrack, anything can happen, and they run within inches of each other. Just one touch, and it sets off a chain reaction. As you've seen, just about every wreck on this racetrack takes 5-6 cars out when they have the spins.
Remember when Jimmy Spencer and all of the NASCAR Winston Cup guys came here for the first time? First 3 races for Spencer ended up with top 10 finishes. Meanwhile, all the points guys together. There's Terry Labonte. We're riding with Dale Jarrett. You got Jeff Gordon just to the right of Jarrett there in the 24 machine. Mark Martin right in the middle of the pack as well.
You see Jeff Gordon kind of giving way to Dale Jarrett. Now Mark Martin moves up on him, trying to take the spot away from him on the inside as they head down the front straightaway.
Got a quick glimpse of where the points are at this stage of the afternoon. With 1.5 races remaining in the season. Halfway in this one, just passing moments ago. And of course the season finale in Atlanta, Georgia.
And all 3 contenders for the point championship are running right together right now. Labonte in the 5, Jarrett in the 88, Gordon in the 24. They are the primary contenders for this championship.
Only Dale Jarrett among that group has led laps here today.
And the fastest race car on the whole racetrack is tied up in traffic right now. Bobby Hamilton took on 4 tires. That put him way back in the field there. You see him just behind Mark Martin as they head down into turn 3. He can't get a line to really get going again.
Battle for the lead, a good one now. Bobby Labonte has caught Jimmy Spencer. Spencer didn't take on tires.
Now this is Benson's chance to get back in the lead lap right now. So he's fighting very hard to get up there to Spencer and try to get himself back up in the lead lap.
You see Spencer get out sideways a little bit coming off that second corner. He is decidedly on the gas with that car.
Dick, you're exactly right. You can watch him as he starts towards the front straightaway. That car wiggles just a little bit.
Probably should. He didn't come in and take tires. He's running on old tires out there, buddy.
You're looking at 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th spot right now. The battle we're riding with. And here for the lead again, our push pole sitter, Bobby Labonte, who led the first 32 laps today.
This is a big move for Bobby Labonte. I think he may be one of the sleepers that kind of dropped back at the first part of this race, but all the whole race he has run extremely strong, and you can see him right there take the lead as they come down the front straightaway.
But Benson in the 30, that yellow Pennzoil Pontiac, could not follow through. He needs to get past both Spencer and Labonte to get back on the lead lap.
How about a round of applause for Benson, though? This is his first ever Winston Cup race here at Phoenix International. He has run a total of 3 truck races, a couple last year and 1 yesterday here, so he is doing a terrific job for what amounts to a rookie race in this division.
Now back in 4th spot, you see Ernie Irvin in the 28. Terry Labonte is next in line, and so on. Randy Pemberton watching it all unfold from the pit lane.
Well, one guy I have been watching is Bobby Hamilton, and he was one of the guys that took on 4 tires during that stop. I had talked to his crew chief, Robbie Loomis, this morning. He said at the very first opportunity to take on our last set of left side tires, that's when we're going to do it. If we can get 160 laps out of our left sides, we're going to take them out at that particular time. So the next time you'll see Bobby Hamilton pit again, it's going to be right sides only. So that's what they're doing. It's a game of chess, and they want to make their final pit stop, spend as little time as possible on pit road. Glenn Jarrett.
Well, thanks, Randy. Speaking of right sides only, the number 18 car, Bobby Labonte, Jeff Bodine, number 7, Ernie Irvin, 28, Terry Labonte, and Jeff Gordon. The reason they're running up front now, folks, is they only took on 2 right side tires on that stop. They gambled for track position that time. Track position at Phoenix, so very important. Dale Jarrett has fared the best of the cars that took on 4 tires. He has moved back up to 6th right now behind Terry Labonte.
There you see how your favorites are running across the top of the screen. Field standing update brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. Oh, Jimmy Spencer about bought himself a piece of wall here moments ago.
Johnny Benson made hard contact with him. The 2 cars really got together. You can see Spencer now under Johnny Benson. If I Johnny Benson, I'd be real careful getting in this corner.
That is 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. The only man not on the lead lap is the 30. You can see Spencer, his car just skating just a bit. That's what happened moments ago off turn 2. He went way wide and really did a good job to save the race car.
I bet he'll take on tires next time, Dick. That's a big gamble not to take on tires. Jimmy Spencer's car is extremely loose. He's really fighting to hold on to what he has right now.
And Johnny Benson is in trouble. He's dropping way back. All of a sudden, it just started there. You can see that Hamilton just went by him. Benson on the high side, moving backwards. Problems with his race car.
There comes Ernie Irvin just behind Spencer. He's running very well, and just under him, Terry Labonte. Terry's car is running very well. That risk must not be bothering him very much at all, because he looks like he's right on business now.
You're right, Benson continues to backslide all the way through the field, but closer to the front. You've got some great scrambles going on. Dale Jarrett just watching it all. There goes Labonte.
Boy, that makes you feel good. He just got in the throttle and drove right away from Spencer. Spencer's got a good car down the straightaway, but he is way off in the corners. You can see he's losing a lot of position now because of the old tires.
You know, Terry Labonte's average finish here is 9th. His average start is 20th, so the fact that he started even further back today, he is used to starting near the back here at Phoenix for whatever reason, and always manages to finish in the top 10.
The car that they had brought here was the car that he won Phoenix with, also the car he won Wilkesboro with. Benson now in the pits, and that's the one they'd hope to run. You talk about overcoming adversity. Here's a guy with a broken hand running the backup car, and look how well he is running this afternoon.
His 535th consecutive start. The hood is up on Johnny Benson's car in the pit lane, but these fellas are considering themselves as Spencer. You see Jimmy moments ago, he was sliding around the racetrack again.
Well, Jimmy Spencer drives every lap like it's the last one, even when the car is loose. Like you can see the back end on the car there, moving around, even down the straightaway through the dogleg there. He's a little bit loose.
Wow, Mark Martin is biding his time.
Sure wasn't much room downstairs there, was there?
Like none.
For example. Yeah, but they never hit, so that's okay.
Lap 177. You see the laps counting down at the upper left-hand corner of your screen.
Tell you, I'm impressed with Spencer hanging on to that thing. As loose as that race car is, he's just hanging on to his positions as best he can and doing a great job with a loose race car.
There's a pretty good scramble. Those fellows were running 3 wide moments ago in their own private battle. Robert Presley in 26th position there on the 29 machine. Meanwhile, there's Spencer again in the 23. Todd Bodine, he's having a good run, and he's on the lead lap in the 33 car.
Eli, he's had a great run today. He's had that car in contention all day long, and I think Todd Bodine right now, you know, looking for a ride and everything, this will help him.
He's got one. He's got one. He's going to be a backup driver. I shouldn't say a backup driver. He's a team driver with Mike McLaughlin next year in the 34.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, a couple of New York boys going to run together.
And it's great to see Todd doing well here in 9th now, because career-wise, it has not been a good racetrack for Todd. He's had a couple of 25ths and a 32nd here, so he's avenging that all very, very nicely. Randy, what's the deal on Johnny Benson's car?
Well, the story is they came down pit road. The car was skipping. Up went the hood. The guys took a look at it, and the deduction they made is they have dropped the cylinder. So Johnny Benson not going to be up to speed the rest of the afternoon.
A tough break for Johnny. He worked so hard to try and get his lap back, was unable to do so. We're at lap 180 now under the bright sunshine here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yates cars. Nose to tail again.
4th and 5th. So what else is new?
So many stories about team cars in 1996.
Oh, Ricky Craven. Sorry to cut you there, Dick, but Ricky Craven having problems. I believe he tagged the wall in addition to everything else. Here he comes in the main straightaway. Well, the right side of the car looks to be in fairly good integrity.
Yeah, he's not had a good run here. He had to start the race with a provisional. They've just not been fast, hadn't figured it out.
Here's what happened again. Let's take a look. There he goes.
Oh, he got a little nudge
Got a
there.
little love tap.
He got the right front got into the wall just a little bit, and it's hurt the handling on the car. He's coming in the pits when he comes back around, I'm sure.
And here goes Dale Jarrett. like Ernie Irvan was standing still. He takes over 4th spot.
With the pressure these guys have right now in the points thing, I'm sure that Ernie Irvan was told let him go right then.
And there's your leader, Bobby Labonte, the Busch pole sitter who led the first 32 laps. He has now been the leader for the last 20. We're coming right back. There's how the point contenders are doing at this stage of the afternoon here at Phoenix International Raceway. And there's how the guy in the number 7 is doing. Jeff Bodine, the race leader, as Bobby Hamilton now makes a move around Ernie Irvan and grabs 5th place away. So those teams swapping things around. But Jeff Bodine at lap number 186 made the move to lead for the 7th time this year and for the 4th time in his career at Phoenix. Let's take you back about a minute and a half ago and watch how Bodine went to the post.
Okay, you can see Bobby Labonte in the 18. Boy, that was easy enough for me to say. And there's Bodine on the inside, 7 car there. He just makes it look so easy on the bottom part of the racetrack.
I want to remind you that back in 1988, when Winston Cup first ran here, car number 7 won the race, driven by a guy named Alan Kulwicki. This is the remnants of that team. 4 crew members from that team are still here. Gary Prezzioni, Pete Jackson, Paul Andrews, Tom Mount. They are all working in the pit area today, helping Jeff Bodine.
And as we mentioned, Jeff Bodine was the pole sitter for that very first race here and led the very first competitive lap for NASCAR Winston Cup teams here in the Arizona desert. So a lot of history tied up right there. But what about Terry Labonte? Is that a remarkable story today? Here's a guy with the bum hand, spent time in the medical center and all, and now he's battling for the lead.
Great athletes always work when they're hurt. Believe me, they always can put on a performance, and Terry Labonte is doing just that right now.
They're pushing Robert Presley's car behind the wall here at the front straightaway. Ricky Craven drove to the garage area a few moments ago, so the attrition list continues to build. We're at lap 194, and as soon as I say that, here comes Craven from the garage as Presley goes behind the wall.
And we ought to give a big cheer for Terry Labonte's doctors as well. They've got 5 of them have been working on him. A couple of them in Charlotte, a bunch of them here. Spent a lot of time at the hospital, a lot of time on the phone. Rick Hendrick said this morning he finally had to shut his pager off because he had so many doctors calling him back trying to advise him as to what he ought to do here.
Here comes the rocket ship again. The 43 of Bobby Hamilton is really on the move as he gets under Bobby Labonte in turn 1 and makes the pass.
That's 4th place. It's taken him just a bit longer to pull it off as Terry Labonte goes for the lead, and who would have thunk it at about 20 after 10 on Friday morning. And Terry Labonte, for the 21st time this year, has taken the lead in the NASCAR Winston Cup race.
From 30th to 1st, what a great drive he's having today, and that car looks flawless right now. The only car faster is the 43 out there, Bobby Hamilton.
Meanwhile, there's some smoke coming out from behind. Oh, there it is. I believe the wings are ready. The Hooters car slowing down. Tough break for Rick Mast, looking for his first win in his 215th career start. Tough break there. And hey, how about Ted Musgrave? Give him 8th place now, ahead of Jeff Gordon and Todd Bodine, who is right there in 10th. And now that's how the points stack up, with Labonte having taken the lead here at Phoenix.
Musgrave's another guy who had a good run in the trucks yesterday. Raced the same truck that Mark Martin had won Wilkesboro in, ran up front all day.
Of course, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series has their season finale next weekend in Las Vegas at Richie Klein's beautiful new facility. The Winston West Series has their season finale out there next Saturday night. Looking forward, we're all going to be out there looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. They tell me they have casinos in Las Vegas.
Really?
That's the rumor.
What?
Just for medicinal,
games.
Just for medicinal purposes, I'm sure.
Buffets too.
Here comes the lead battle off the corner while Rick Mast goes to the pit area. Look at that top 7 right there on the main straightaway, how close they are. Just joining us, Derek Cope with an accident. Done for the day. Jeremy Mayfield had motor mount problems. Robbie Gordon in an accident. Bobby Hillen in an accident. Robert Presley with valve train problems, though they're still working on the Yabba Dabba Doo car behind the wall. We have been slowed 4 times by caution. Otherwise, a good competitive race, and Terry Labonte, against all the odds, has scrambled his way to the front. 200 laps complete, as Rick Mast's day might well be done. We are at Phoenix International Raceway. Lap 116. Mark Martin and Derek Cope got together. Cope's day was done. Lap 196. Beaten and battered, but running as best he can. Terry Labonte takes the lead. Welcome back, everybody. With Dick Berggren, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, and Randy Pemberton, I'm Eli Gold. Welcome to Phoenix International Raceway, where TNN Motorsports is live. There again, the point contenders. Labonte, currently the leader. Dale Jarrett has led. Jeff Gordon has not yet picked up any bonus points here today and runs, as you see, in the 9th spot. Rick Mast has just taken his machine to the garage area. So he joins Derek Cope, Jeremy Mayfield, Robbie Gordon, Bobby Hillin, and Robert Presley there. Meanwhile, where's our pole sitter? Well, Bobby Labonte is in that mix right there with Ernie Irvan and the rest. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th position on back.
Ernie's running quite well. You're riding with Mark Martin down the back straightaway here. You can see just in front of him, Ernie Irvan doing very well, but he's not up to pace with the first 3 cars right now.
If you're a Jimmy Spencer fan, he pitted while we were gone moments ago. He came in for routine service at lap 202 after not pitting when the other leaders did. We're still about 25 laps away at this very moment from the next round of scheduled pit stops. Is it a surprise that Mark Martin's running well here? No, he's had a super run, just hasn't been to victory lane. Ernie Irvan's had a great run. Of course, up front, no surprise that Terry Labonte's leading. He's finished 2nd here in 88, 2nd in 89. He won here in 94. He's never finished worse than 16th here at Phoenix International.
Mark Martin has had a terrific tail end of the 1996 season. He's done everything but win, it seems, Eli. The last time he was out of the top 10, are you ready for this? July. Loudon is the last time he was out of the top 10. He's had 6 finishes of 2nd or 3rd in the last 13 races. He's strong. He just hasn't been able to win, which is about driving the team nuts, incidentally.
I would bet.
And him, too.
There you see Ted Musgrave, Jeff Gordon. They're 8th and 9th running that way, and that's really, Glenn, about as well as we've seen Gordon run today, 9th spot.
Well, it is, Eli. I talked to Ray Evernham just a few minutes ago, and he said the car is still a little bit loose. They have fought a loose condition since the green flag dropped. They have adjusted on it. They still haven't quite got it the way that they want it. But for a loose race car, he's doing a pretty good job. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish Ann Abbott in Fayette, Alabama, your home state, Eli, happy birthday from your son, Jack.
The social calendar of the air, and indeed we say hello to the folks in Fayette, Alabama. Robert Presley has brought his car back to the racetrack after the valve train problems. He's 23 laps down. We told you Ricky Craven returned before. He's 14 laps back. So it leaves only Cope, Mayfield, Robbie Gordon, Hillen, and Mast in the garage area. We're at lap 212, 100 miles from the finish. This one's zipping right by. There you see Hamilton and Jarrett. That's scrambled to 3rd and 4th, a good one.
The good part for these guys, you see just in front of them, 2nd place is
Jeff Bodine.
Jeff Bodine in the 7 car. He seems to be dropping back just a little bit, and these guys are running him down right now.
Terry Labonte, however, continues as the race leader. We're seeing the relationship now between the top 4 runners. We'll tell you what it all translates to on the clock as Terry Labonte comes towards the start-finish line while Hamilton battles with Jarrett. They are 1.5 seconds back. Hamilton and Jarrett are.
Eli, look at the difference in the way they run the corner there. The 43 can run right around the yellow line on the bottom part of the racetrack, where Jarrett's car on long runs is beginning to wash out just a little bit.
And it's been Hamilton on the long runs who finally kicks in. That's been his deal all day.
And it's also been Hamilton passing cars on the bottom, going into the third turn by coming out of 2. So very hard, get a little shot going down the backstretch, dive at the bottom, and that's what he just did to Jarrett again. He's been getting cars that way all day long.
You can see Jarrett there using a lot of racetrack, and anytime you have a car that will turn like Hamilton's 43 will, it makes it real easy. He could pass him just about anywhere in either corner.
Going to be an interesting time in Petty Enterprises now, and PE2, if you will, as Kyle Petty likes to talk about, with Kyle's announcement of his plans for the next seasons to come with Mattel Hot Wheels and so on, and the association, if you will, between Kyle and Richard and the guys at Petty Enterprises.
And David Evans, the engine builder, is coming over to work with him as well, as are several other people who are coming from Felix's.
Matter of fact, we talked with Kyle Petty about it earlier this weekend, and he discussed exactly what the plans are, and who better to explain it than Kyle himself.
Right now, you know, Mattel's Hot Wheels and their Hot Wheels brand will be our primary sponsor. We're going to run the Pontiacs, just like we have. And like I said before, because for a number of reasons, but mainly because I've been with them for the last 7 or 8 years, and I feel some loyalty there. The principals in my group are Richard Petty, obviously. So I bring him to the table, and I bring David Evans. And we feel like that's a big thing for us, is to have David there. Like I said in there, he's built motors, winning motors for Rusty. They've won championships. There's a lot of history there, so that gives that winning attitude to it also. And we just, for lack of a better name, we couldn't come up with a name. So my father's was Petty Enterprise, so we just call this from Petty Enterprise too. So it's PE2 will be the name of our company. And basically, you know, like I say, we hope to come out of the box and be competitive right off the bat.
It'll be very, very interesting to see exactly how Kyle goes for 1997. I have a feeling, and I could be totally wrong, I just have a feeling he's going to be tougher on himself than any other owner could be on him. And that's not to take anything from Felix and the guys at Shabco, but I think Kyle wants to show that, hey, I can drive, I can get the job done. He's got a lot of pride. I expect good things in that team.
Well, the thing about it, the Petty team has run dual cars many, many times, and run as many as 3 at times, and they know how to do that. And I think with Richard Petty, he has a common effect on people. I think it'll be a good mixture between them.
They're, of course, the primary Petty Enterprises team, and there is one of Rick Hendrick's 3 teams. Terry Labonte leading the points, leading the race. We're coming right back. From the Cactus of Arizona, it'll be on to the Southern Hospitality of Atlanta, and then eventually for one team, the Bright Lights of New York, and the NASCAR Winston Cup will be theirs. That's the championship trophy, and there you see the man who is currently leading the point race.
Whoa, he got a little loose there too.
Almost had a whopper of a problem right there with the Burger King Chevrolet, didn't he?
Wow, I mean, that was pretty sideways. On radial tires, you don't want to cross up too many times.
But listen, guys, you've got the lead right there. That's Labonte in the 5, but the 7, Jeff Bodine, and the 43, Bobby Hamilton, have gone from lap 218 to where we now are at 225. They've gone from 1.8 now to just 1 second in arrears. So they are closing in on the race leader. Of course, we're closing in on pit stops before too much longer as we watch Musgrave continue his battle with Ernie for 7th spot. The pit strategy is going to be not so much strategy, but the pit crew performance.
Eli is going to come down to the people that can take on 2 tires. Probably will try that, but if I was Bobby Hamilton, as good as that car has worked all day on fresh 4 tires every time, I would have to go that way.
Randy, what are you hearing down on the pit lane? Everybody going to go 4, or are we going to have some guys roll the dice?
Well, I think everybody is going to go with 4 tires, because what you're looking at here, the 88 car, I think they're going to end up going with 4 tires. The 43 of Bobby Hamilton, they feel they're running so well, just like you said moments ago, buddy, that they can't afford not to take on 4. They don't want to take the opportunity out of the driver's hands. As far as the 7 car goes, they took on 2 the last time. I speculate that they will probably go 4 as well. The problem you've got here is nobody wants to be the first one to come down pit road.
Well, fact of life is someone's going to have to be, and it's going to be coming up here before too much longer. Now, we have seen a few of the teams, not so much short pit, but there have been consistent performers who have made earlier stops than others. What we're going to do is break away here real quickly, take care of a little business. We'll all be back in time for the pit stop. So keep it right here on TNN Motorsports. More from Phoenix in a moment. A lot of racing coming up, but immediately following our broadcast from Phoenix, stay tuned for Fishin' with Orlando Wilson, followed by Bill Jordan's Real Tree Outdoors. That is next right here on TNN. Welcome back, everybody. Phoenix International Raceway. We are live with the Dura-Lube 500. Ernie Irvan, Ted Musgrave, Todd Bodine, all scrambling for position. Meanwhile, pit stops beginning. Here comes Jeff Gordon. We are right at the window of being able to go the distance. Most teams said they wanted to go to lap 235 to be able to go the distance. Gordon, though, in the 11th spot. He'll make his stop right here. Kenny Wallace is also in. Others will begin to make their pit stops now at lap 233. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Ray Evernham told me, Eli, that this would be a four-tire stop. The crew's on the right side right now. Again, they're jacking some wedge on the right side to put some bite in the car. He's still fighting that loose condition. As I said, he has all day around the left side now. I've got the clock on him, so we'll let you know what kind of stop. A little bit of trouble on the left rear. Oh, this is going to hurt him. Oh, big trouble. Almost 23 seconds. That's about 4.5, 5 seconds longer than they had hoped. Tough luck for Jeff Gordon.
Ernie Irvan is in. Dale Earnhardt is in. Dave Marcus has made his stop. Here comes Todd Bodine at lap 234. He is in, while Terry Labonte and Bodine, Jeff Bodine, Bobby Hamilton all stay on the racetrack. So Todd is in. Here comes Kenny Schrader in the Bud Chevrolet. Lap 234. The rolling spam can is in. Here comes Lake Speed. Here comes Jeff Bodine. He can go no further. So Bobby Hamilton now takes over the second spot, and Randy Pemberton is in the QVC pit area.
If we don't catch a caution after this, this could very well be the strategy that decides this race. They've gone to the right side of the QVC number 7 Ford of Jeff Bodine. Tires are now on. Going to be a four-tire stop. As we've speculated, Bobby Hamilton still out on the racetrack. He will go another lap or so. Left side tires off. Now the new ones go on. Second can of gas in. Jeff Bodine down and away. Excellent pit stop. Now we wait for Bobby Hamilton coming in. Here comes Terry Labonte down pit road. We're waiting also for Bobby Hamilton. Labonte makes his stop. Will it be a 2 or 4 tire stop? They're around the right side of the car. They're going to be coming around the left. It's also 4 tires for Labonte. Don't see a wedge adjustment. Clean the windshield. Good for Terry Labonte. Second can of gas in. Excellent pit stop so far for the 5 team. Terry down and away. Excellent pit stop, 18-9.
Here comes Bobby Hamilton. Ward Burton has been on the pit lane for service. Here comes Andretti. Here comes Mark Martin in for service. Let's see what Robbie Loomis and the boys do. Right sides, as you can see. Morgan Shepherd is in. Sterling Marlin is in. All of these stops at 237. Here comes Wally Dallenbach. Darrell Waltrip is in. Left side tires now going on. So all the way around, fellas. 4 tires the way to go for all of the front runners. Here comes Dale Jarrett now as he comes in off the turn 4 area. Has a long way to go to his pit stall. He'll pit at lap 238. Others in include Ricky Rudd and Kyle Petty. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
And Mark Martin has just left. Great pit stop for him. 4 tires, fuel, and a slight chassis adjustment. Here's Dale Jarrett now. Martin was in for 18.75 seconds. This will be a 4-tire stop for Jarrett. We speculated that they may shorten it with only 2 tires. They're making a chassis adjustment on the left rear right now. In fact, they raised the car just a little bit. The crew's around to the left side. Trouble again to Jack, man. Slow getting around. This is the second time that's happened to DJ today. This is really going to cost him some time, guys. He's down 23 seconds flat. That's a bad pit stop under the gun.
There's your leader until he pitted. Ted Musgrave had led lap 237, 238, 239. So everything's cycling its way around now. Service from the Roush crew. Brett Bodine is in for service at lap 239. There's Terry Labonte. Everything's cycling its way around. Terry is the leader. having taken over the advantage here at lap number 240. So Labonte pitted at 236, handed the lead over. He has reassumed the top spot at lap 240. Don't forget, folks, coming up tonight, the NHRA Winston Finals from Pomona, California. Ralph Shaheen, Steve Evans, Bob Fry, they'll all be right here on TNN Motorsports. It doesn't get any closer. The season finale for the NHRA Winston Drag Racing set from Pomona. Well, it's very simple right now. We're at lap 245. We got to go to lap 312. The leader is Terry Labonte. Bobby Hamilton is virtually upon him. There are some other good battles, as you see, across this racetrack, including Ernie Irvan in 9th and Jeff Gordon in 10th. But this really could be playing right into the hands of the STP Pontiac.
Gordon hasn't led a lap yet today. Hasn't been fast enough to lead a lap yet today. He's a whole lot better than he had been in practice and qualifying, but they still don't have that car as fast as it needs to be to run right up front.
It seems on fresh tires he holds his own, as you can see him running along there with the 28 car of Ernie Irvan. But as he goes along in longer runs, he drops off the pace just a little bit.
Still showing 16 cars on the lead lap. Labonte, Hamilton, Jeff Bodine, Bobby Labonte, Mark Martin, and Todd Bodine a super run. Dale Jarrett 7th, Musgrave 8th, Irvin 9th, Jeff Gordon is 10th, Morgan Shepherd is 11th, Kenny Schrader is 12th, Darrell Waltrip is 13th, 14th is Dale Earnhardt, 15th now is Kenny Wallace. We mentioned Dale Jarrett back in the 7th spot there, Buddy Baker.
There's Dale Jarrett. He lost so much track position. As Glenn said a while ago, he had a terrible stop right there, and he was running right with the leaders, and right now he's a good full turn behind the lead cars.
Under brilliant sunshine at Phoenix International, the 33rd year of racing here is Gordon and Irvan. Battle on. They get around the lap machine of Michael Waltrip. Gordon in 9th, Irvan in 10th. Of course, NASCAR racing out here in the desert began back in 1951. There's the leader, number 5, Terry Labonte. Now we go back to second. There's the 43, the STP Pontiac in second. Then you go further back, Jeff Bodine and the rest. And there's Dale Jarrett right there, the 88 machine. Glenn running in 7th, but it's a goodly distance back right now.
Yeah, when they came out of the pits, it was about 6 seconds. It's gone to about 7. He's stuck back in some lap traffic, having a little bit of problem with them. And I said that the jackman on that stop was a little slow getting around. Reason for that was it was not the jackman's fault. There was a lug nut problem on one of the right side tires that slowed the tire changing down on the right side. He simply had to wait until those guys on the right side got done before he could move around to the left side. So Dale Jarrett back about 7 seconds right now. Doesn't appear to be closing that gap any at all.
By the way, Mike Skinner is running in 16th there. You see the 31 car? He started outside of the front row. We hadn't talked much since he dropped out of the top 5. He is running in 16th position, acquitting himself quite well here today.
Well, he's run a very conservative race, and the good part about his run today, he's logging time on the racetrack. Next year, he's going to run the series, and he should do quite well, I think.
Thought he was going to get the pole here. He really did. It went all the way down to the very tail end. There were only a half dozen cars left to go, and that crew was thinking, oh boy, here we go, our first ever Winston Cup race. We're going to win the pole. Bobby Labonte goes out, bang, smashes the track record, takes it away from him. He said this morning, he said, I'll get some poles next year in 97. I'll make you bet that team wins a race in 97.
You think that quickly, huh?
Yeah, I think so, because they've got all the brains and all the good stuff going on, and Childress could go right into that car, all those terrific setups and all the things Richard Childress has learned over all those years. And Skinner's ready. He's really ready, I think, for this big league action, Eli. He's done so well in the trucks. He's proven he can run. He's proven he can be a smart race car driver.
Meanwhile, up front, half a second now separating the leader there, the number 5, Terry Labonte, and a half second back, the number 43, Bobby Hamilton. He's continuing to close in. No, Randy, it's not been since 1983 that Petty Enterprises has been to victory lane.
It's been a long time, Eli, and they want to do everything they can to help their driver ensure a victory. Just under 60 laps to go. You've got your tires, you've got your fuel, you're chasing one of the best. How do you help your driver conserve his tires to make sure he's got enough to win this race?
Well, I'll tell you, we've been in a good situation a lot this year. Bobby's real focused right now. He hasn't said a word since the start of the race. I think you can get him hanging there.
Okay, he's confident that he can save the tires, run down Terry Labonte, and go for the victory lane for the first time in a long, long time. The King is watching on.
Eli, just in front of the 5 car there, Terry Labonte. Earnhardt is fixing to go a lap down.
Meanwhile, you've got problems on Kenny Wallace's square D entry, as you see. It was directly ahead of Bobby Hamilton in that bunch, but everybody continues away, and Kenny is heading to the garage. And before anybody tries to correct me, and I said that Petty Enterprises hasn't won since '83. Remember, at an '84, when Richard won at Daytona and Dover, he was not driving for Petty Enterprises. He was driving for Mike Curb at the time. So, indeed, Petty Enterprises hasn't won since '83.
We knew that, Eli.
I know you did, but a lot of folks are new to this sport.
Okay.
Well remember Richard Petty's last victory in front of the president and everyone at Daytona in July of '84.
Dramatic moment.
Sure was, wasn't it something?
Yeah.
Mr. Earnhardt trying to prevent himself from going a lap down. He's in 14th spot.
This is really playing into Bobby Hamilton's affairs right now. You can see Bobby Hamilton coming in here. Earnhardt's doing everything he can to stay in the lead lap. Bobby Hamilton moves in on a race leader, Terry Labonte.
Kenny Wallace to the garage area. The track is clear. NASCAR has checked it out. No need for a caution. Now there's problems up underneath the bridge. Caution is beneath the bridge as we have Gello at lap 259.
Earnhardt will have to fight hard to stay in the lead lap. He goes into turn 3 over there really hard. He's letting him go. Earnhardt's down low. He's got to beat the 5 car of Terry Labonte back to the start finishing line.
And at that point, coming to the bridge where the accident was, Terry Labonte and Earnhardt did not battle. Indeed, Earnhardt goes away and stays on the lead lap. And from the NASCAR Winston West Series, that is Jeff Kroll from Visalia, California. He and Lance Hooper, the only 2 Winston West drivers to make the event. Let's take another look, guys, and see what happened to Kroll.
Hello there.
Wow.
Todd
Tangled up with
Bodine
Todd.
was
Yeah.
there with him.
That's his second trip into the wall this weekend. He had another car he crashed in practice.
Todd Bodine there with Kroll. Meanwhile, watch Earnhardt and Labonte here as they start coming to the accident scene. They're battling, and then watch, you'll see their hands start waving.
Earnhardt with his hand right out the window.
Yep, he was waving right there. Drivers communicating one to the next.
Telling Terry, I need to get back in the lead lap.
All right, here they come. Pit stops will be taking place at lap 260. Lap 260. 23 laps after many of these leaders stop. They're all in for service. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Original strategy now out the window. The 5 car is on pit road. Right side tires on. It's a 2-tire stop for Terry Labonte. What's the 43 car going to do? Glenn.
Well, Randy, I think everybody's going to do 2 tires here. I'm down still with Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett. They're all going to the right side only. Dale Jarrett put wedge in last time. They're taking it back out. Both cars, Martin is down and away with 2 tires. Follows Labonte right out. Dale Jarrett is down and away 2 tires. And he hits, Dale Jarrett hits Ken Schrader. Schrader cut him off coming down the pit lane. Schrader cut him off coming down the pit lane. So that's a tough break for Dale Jarrett.
Meanwhile, last week it was Ricky Rudd with the best pit stop he never made to go on to win the race. Could it be the same thing for Jeff Bodine? He has not made a pit stop, and might this, in the next 52 miles, parlay itself into a win.
Eli certainly ran well enough to stay right with the lead cars a while ago with used tires. So this is strategy. Will it play out? We'll see.
Now let's go back to pit road. Here's what Glenn was telling you about. You see, there's Hamilton. There's the 25 going into his pit. Ooh,
wow.
Pretty good. Glenn, you were right. There was some darn good contact there.
Oh, absolutely, Eli. Dale was pulling out just as Kenny was coming in, and they hit pretty hard. It almost stalled Dale's car. He had to back up, go around Schrader. They're a little concerned about what it might have done to the car. Lost a lot of track time, Eli.
261 of 312 laps on the board. There is your leader.
No, we've had this QVC Ford up front all day, and I think we can keep it there. I think Jeff can do it. We're going to give it our best shot. I know that.
Who made the decision?
That was Jeff's.
Yeah, we were planning on coming in doing right sides, and at the last second, he said, "Ah, heck with it, I'm gonna stay out," and he did.
Interesting call. We'll see what happens.
He won back in August at Watkins Glen. We'll take a look at the point contenders again and let you know exactly where everybody is doing. Labonte, Gordon, Jarrett, there are the numbers. Jeff hasn't led yet today. Terry Labonte still needs to lead 25 laps to wrap up the additional 5-point bonus for leading the most laps today.
Wow.
That one is far from done.
big.
Yeah, it is. We're at lap 264 of 312.
Boy, oh boy, I hope these cars that are a lap down don't come into play here, because we're getting down to the nitty-gritty now.
Restart from high overhead with our Dura-Lube aerial camera. Jeff Bodine, a good jump on the start.
I guess about a 10-car jump on the start. He really rocketed it off, but you got to wonder about Labonte trying to hang onto the wheel with the left hand and shift with the right coming down for that start.
I'll tell you something. Labonte could call it a day right now, and I'd be most impressed. I mean, what a day he's had. Obviously, he's not parking it by any stretch. I mean, that's after Friday morning at 20 after 10 when his car was crunched against the wall and his hand along with. To see what he's done here today is remarkable.
He's kind of wandered around the pit area for the last couple of days with an ice bag on that hand, just trying to avoid the pain, dull it. It's all swollen up so he can't run his fingers properly. And look at him out here running this terrific race this afternoon.
Of course, he is the Iceman. That might become part of his normal accessory if it works.
As soon as I said
he
that,
better not fall now,
because
because he's got plenty of help right here. Mark Martin moving in on him, trying to take that spot away from him. Mark Martin's on the move.
But Jeff Bodine is the leader. That's the scramble for second. Now, you ever wonder what we talk about when we say a guy tries to make his car wide?
That is it.
That is a classic example right there.
It's called check and checkmate.
Like Richard Petty's great line, I always loved it. He said, "We're all entitled to half the track, and I'm taking mine out of the middle." Lap 268 going up on the board this time. Mike Skinner, the 31, not on the lead lap. He is a lap down, having gone there just a short while before that last caution came out at lap 259.
Eli, these old tires on here. You can see Mike Skinner trying to make a move to get back in the lead lap as they head down into turn 3. Does not quite do it.
Curious about Ernie and Jeff, 7th and 8th spot. Ernie Irvin, the 28, Jeff Gordon, the 24. Great competitive racing. Had a great race at the Rock last week. Here goes Bobby Hamilton.
Here comes Bobby Hamilton again. You talk about a guy that's made more improvements on restarts. He gets back in the pack on every restart, but he rockets right back up to the front. That car is like it's on a string out there.
Like we were saying before, Dick, 8-10 laps, he starts coming back to the front.
Yeah, like we were also talking about flat track guys. Remember the fine run that he had at Martinsville Speedway?
That's not going to be long before Terry Labonte is tested by Bobby Hamilton. He's moving in on him. You can see going down in the corner here, Hamilton has a very strong car. He runs quite a bit lower than everybody else.
14 cars on the lead lap. The last one is Todd Bodine,
who's had a terrific run here today. By far the best run he's ever had at Phoenix Speedway.
Same car that they used at Wilkesboro. Finished 4th earlier.
Yep, big brother Jeff out in the lead. Skinner is not in 2nd spot. He's down a lap. That's the silver car.
He's got some great experience right now, though. He's running right there with the lead cars, proving that he has a bright future in Winston Cup racing. He can run with the leaders.
Jay Sauter's going to drive his truck next year. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. There's some big shoes to try and fill, huh? How'd you like to drive Mike Skinner's truck after the records he's had? 8 wins last year, 8 wins this year, championship last year.
I'll tell you something, though. You talk to the guys who follow the ASA and a lot of the Midwest racing. They will make every case for the fact that Jay Sauter is one of the best young drivers in the country.
And the few races he has run in the Truck Series, he's run real strong. And look at Hamilton. Here he comes.
Bobby Hamilton working his way towards the front. Terry Labonte trying to use Skinner, though, the lapped car, the 31, as a pick to keep Hamilton back.
Side by side, down going into turn 3. The 43 has the preferred line and makes the pass.
Boy, this is going to be something. If the STP Pontiac and win it. But how about if Jeff Bodine can pull it off using pit strategy? Great storylines. We're coming right back.
Whoa, Bobby.
Now, whoa. Welcome back, everybody. We're watching some great racing, and there's the manufacturer's point standings. The reason we put it up quickly is because Chevy, with a first or a second place finish today, wins the manufacturer's standings. But right now, it's Ford ahead of Pontiac, then Chevrolet. So if it stays that way, that battle would go down to Atlanta as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to explain what everybody heard when we come back from the break there. There was almost an accident on the back straightaway. Skinner got hung up on the outside, and this bunch you see here fighting for position nearly wiped out about 5 or 6 cars.
Great scrambles all the way around the racetrack. We'll show you that battle in just a bit. Here's the battle for the lead, though. Bobby Hamilton.
He's not going to make it. You see Jeff really pulling back down on the bottom. Hamilton's got a good run up off the corner, though. He should be able to pull up even with him down the back straightaway.
The 167th race in Hamilton's NASCAR Winston Cup career. He led today, lap 155 to 157. Before that, he led laps 116 and 117. Here comes Terry Labonte.
Whoa. Oh, man.
Look at the petty pits.
Tell you, Hamilton gets right up on the back end of that number 7 cars, and Bodine just gets to wiggle, and he didn't even have to do it this time. He's under him.
Here we go, guys, down through the dog leg on the back straightaway. You see Hamilton on the inside. He'll make his pass, I think, in this corner.
Bobby Hamilton taking Pontiac to the front. We're at lap 282. And now what happens in second spot? Terry Labonte with the fresher tires.
There's Mark Martin. He's in the fight still. He's not out of this thing by any means.
Remember, Jeff Bodine did not take on tires at lap 260 when the other leaders did. That may be manifesting itself right here.
Yeah, and he didn't like upstairs at all. As soon as he could get down, he did. He just managed to squeeze himself in between the number 6 of Mark Martin and the 5 of Terry Labonte, and I mean just.
You know, I'm watching this, Eli, and this race is not over by a long shot. I think the fastest car out there. Bobby Hamilton's doing a great job, but just behind him, Terry Labonte, if he's not having any problem at all with his grip right now, that car is extremely strong. He drops back and then runs him right back down.
If you're a Robert Presley fan, they have finally parked it for the day. Engine failure, sending the Cartoon Network entry to the garage. Bobby Labonte and Jeff Gordon. 6th and 7th spot up for grabs right there.
Think back to Ray Evernham. He just refused to not get it, and they're moving forward with that 24 car.
There's Mark Martin and Jeff Bodine battling. 3rd and 4th.
Remember, Jeff's on old tires right now. The other guys took on 2 tires. I think it's hurting him right now as far as his run towards the checker flag.
Bobby Hamilton now leads here at Phoenix. The last time we had a first-time winner, you saw it on TNN last October. Ward Burton winning in Rockingham in a Pontiac. And that was the last win for Pontiac. We're going to break away and take our last break of the day. We're going to stick with you the rest of the way to the checkered. So we're coming right back. More from Phoenix. Bobby Hamilton is the race leader. Kenny Schrader, however, is slowing on the racetrack. Problems on the Budweiser Chevrolet, but it's not bothering Bobby. There you see Schrader report from the pit area, an engine problem, and he is already pointing to the others that he is going to go out of the event. There goes Jarrett. Darrell Waltrip still battling on the lead lap. DW is in 11th, moving by Mike Skinner. We're at lap 290, up 312. Down in the Terry Labonte pit, Gary Dehart looking on. He is the Western Auto Mechanic of the Race Award winner today. $2,000 from Western Auto to Gary Dehart. You can't argue with that kind of a decision.
No, you sure can't. And let's not blame him for that stuck throttle either. Randy Dorton looked real careful at that engine, and they cannot figure out why the throttle stuck. They looked at everything imaginable. No boosters had fallen in, nothing. The final conclusion, probably something came up from the racetrack and jammed it wide open.
Eli, I've been watching just behind this group here. Mark Martin is really dialed in right now. I don't know what they've done to this car, but he's carrying a lot of corner time through here. It looks like he's gaining on the lead cars.
Now, Mark Martin, although he is not leading now, they have just gone past the point of the day where he will lead the most laps. So it is Mark Martin who will pick up the additional 5-point bonus. He has led 85 laps today. Nobody else can lead more than that. So as far as the guys battling for the NASCAR Winston Cup points, we've got 2 of them who have picked up a 5-point bonus, but none other than Mark Martin will get the additional 5.
And you know, as we watch Bobby Hamilton lead this race, his first ever Winston Cup start happened right here at Phoenix International Raceway.
Remember the car?
November 1988, and it was the Days of Thunder car that he drove. The movie car that he ran here ran well until he blew up. Qualified the thing in 5th spot, blew the engine up, and was a DNF 32nd.
1991 NASCAR Winston Cup Rookie of the Year. But here comes Terry Labonte.
He's making a run on him, as you can see.
1984 champion.
Tell you what, any way this one works out, it's a story. I mean, what a race this has been. Wow.
We have seen a dandy. Hope you're enjoying it at home. We're just showing you now the interval from one position back to the next. There's first to second. There's Mark Martin now in 3rd. We're at lap 295 of 312.
You know what else Hamilton's working on is a top 10 finish in the points race as well. He came into this event 12th in points, just 21 behind Jeff Burton, who had problems.
There's 4th and 5th on the screen. Ted Musgrave has caught Jeff Bodine. Well, Ted's having a good run today.
Great run, and he seems to be able to hold his car down low. I don't think Bodine will be able to hold him off as they go down the front straightaway. It's a distinctive difference in the way the 2 cars look in the corner. You can see the 16 there really gain up right from this area, trying to come out under him there as they come off the corner.
Like you said, he gets the jump off the turn. 4th spot about to change hands.
Are they close or what? Didn't hit though.
Not for long. That 16 of Musgraves is really running well.
Up front, it is still a half-second lead for Bobby Hamilton. Now Bobby Labonte and Ernie Irvan. 7th and 8th position. We'll keep you informed of doings at the front. Still a half-second from Hamilton back to Terry Labonte. So we'll keep you with this 7th place battle.
Labonte, who changed engines this morning, trying to come up with a little bit more power. Obviously worked well for him. He's having a good run this afternoon. Hasn't won yet this year. Won 3 times last year. It's either going to have to be here or it's going to have to be in Atlanta. This thing's about done and over with.
If you're a Dale Earnhardt fan, he's in 13th and appears to be in towards 26 races in succession without a win. As you see Ernie Irvan get the jump off the corner, and he just blew right by him.
Boy, you talk about horsepower. That was a power move there. The 28 car was flying down through the dogleg area of the back straightaway.
Now back up front, 2nd place is the battle, which tickles Bobby Hamilton to no end. Hamilton's the leader, and all of a sudden the 2nd place man is going to have to start taking care of 3rd spot.
Yeah, he's starting to use the mirror instead of looking out the windshield a lot. You see Mark Martin, I told you, he's really carrying a lot of turn speed, but the 5 car is extremely strong down the straightaway. If these guys start fighting, Hamilton will just drive off in the distance.
Yeah, all Hamilton really has to do is just pay attention to what's in front of him, and there's only 1 lap car, and he's got a lot of empty racetrack in front of him, and these 2 guys get to going at it, and they're going to have to watch ahead of him, watch the mirror, and it's much harder to go fast when you're paying attention to so many different things.
It is now exactly a second from Hamilton right there back to the 2nd place battle right there. They're coming to 10 laps to go the next time by. You see 11 remaining now, and if you were with us when we signed on the air 3 hours ago, we did a special section of our opening about spoilers. Not the spoilers in the car, but guys who are trying to spoil the season for others. And one of those who was looking for his first win, not only this year, but career-wise, Bobby Hamilton. And here he is at the top of the leaderboard right now.
I was just thinking how many times I chased that particular paint job that's on that 43 there. Richard Petty carried that thing. I looked at the back end of that car many a time, but this is something special here today.
Petty Enterprises with 268 wins. Of course, 200 of those for Richard. Lee Petty prior to him.
And if they win today, Robbie Loomis as crew chief is going to get his very first win. Never won a Winston Cup before. What a big celebration this will be if they can pull this thing off.
For Bobby Hamilton, he had a second place finish at Dover back in September of '95. A couple of top fives this year. He finished 5th at Pocono, 3rd at Martinsville. Second place battle now dropping back even further behind Hamilton. They are just over a second behind now.
I bet Richard Petty right now, I bet you couldn't ask him a question or anything else. He has to just be down there with his fingers, toes, and everything crossed, hoping nothing goes wrong. This is a great victory for this team if they pull it off today.
I hope the track owner here, Buddy Job, has insured his grandstands, because these folks can tear the grandstands down if Petty Enterprises gets back into victory lane. What a popular win it would be. Jeff Bodine and Jeff Gordon, 5th and 6th.
Here comes Jeff. Oh, he gives him a little root there coming out of the corner. He has the lower line. You see Bodine letting him know he didn't appreciate that little nudge there. But here we go down into turn 3. I believe Jeff can pull it off. He has a little bit better tires.
What a comeback from a car that wasn't handling, huh? Well, it's gotten it done.
Just like you said, just rooted his way right through.
Boy, these points are precious. That's why Jeff Gordon's running so hard. But you see Bodine back under him there. Whoa.
Be careful, guys. Championship at stake here, potentially.
There's the points as of this very moment with one race remaining. Kyle Petty is on pit road. Unscheduled stop for Kyle, who is in 21st. And we watch Jeff Gordon, Jeff Bodine. That's the battle for 5th you're enjoying. There's the battle for 2nd.
You see right now, Mark Martin's moving in there.
There you see Gordon now. So the separation from that one battle back to Gordon, the next battle. Now back to 2nd place. 5 laps to go. Morgan Shepherd is in. Lap 307.
Oh, here comes Mark. He's got the position on the inside. Terry shuts the door as he heads into turn 1.
Here's 2nd place while they change a flat right rear tire on Morgan Shepherd's Remington Arms machine on the pit road.
I think Mark's going to try him on the outside. He's done that several times today. He'll try a guy a few laps in a row on the bottom. If he can't get it done, there he goes right upstairs. Try him on the high side, and he's been successful at that. Not many have.
It's now 1 1/10 from the leader back to that 2nd place battle. 1 1/10. The advantage for Bobby Hamilton. And old DW, Darrell Waltrip, our broadcasting buddy, going around Todd Bodine. Darrell now up to 10th spot.
Look at Dave Marcus with his hand out the window pointing to the left side. He's telling those guys, pass me on the left, pass me on the left. What is it, 130 miles an hour? He's sticking his hand out the window. Oh!
I did that in Daytona one time. I could have took my own gas cap off before I got my arm back.
You're a sick man. White flag. White flag next time by for that man. Joe Nemechek smoking midway down the back straightaway. You see him there on the left of your screen. And here's the battle for 2nd spot. Those points are pivotal, so much so for both men.
Mark has a preferred line and kind of gets ahead of Terry as they come out of turn 4.
White flag. Bobby Hamilton looking for his first career win. Richard Petty can't even look.
He's got his head down.
Got to be a whole lot easier driving it than watching it, I would bet.
That crew's going to explode.
He's got it made now.
In his 167th career start, Bobby Hamilton is a first-time winner, and Petty Enterprises is heading back to victory lane for the first time since 1983. Glenn Jarrett's with the King.
Richard Petty has been way too long in victory lane, but you're going there now, buddy. Congratulations.
Well, I'm going to let them go. They deserve it, man. All these years of working, you know, paid off today anyway.
Well, it sure did. Now, you got a race of your own to run come Tuesday. Good luck in that.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Richard Petty running for Secretary of State in the state of North Carolina come Tuesday. Hopes he can go to victory lane too. That's where we're headed.
And with a Ford coming home in second, the manufacturers' point standings battle will continue to Atlanta. The fans are standing looking on as something we have seen 268 other times will happen again. The STP Pontiac and Petty Enterprises going to victory lane. We'll be there to join the celebration as soon as we come back to Phoenix, Arizona.